ママママバババーンヘボヘボ。 My game is once again not showing up. This is fine. This is perfect. Hello, hello. How are we all doing tonight? This is apparently the 12th time I've started this game, as I just got an achievement, which is just titled As the Name Implies. So like, and I read up on achievements a little, and apparently if you start the game 12 times, that's when you get that achievement. So here we go. This is my 12th time starting this game. Woo! It's not the 12th stream though. I think it's like the 8th or 9th stream we have for this game. I completely missed out on doing my usual introduction and saying hello, but this is fine. I hope you're all doing well tonight. It is once again another Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. I hope it's a good Wednesday for you all. Did this game only a few sessions, so I know people on my friends list by starting up and quitting the game many times in a row. I've had my Steam profile on offline for like years. So because I always got sick of other people seeing what I do. Hello, someone new being doing the big brum race cutting the big okay. That's nice. Did you win? The offline only now, yeah. There were a lot of cars and a lot of brum. That sounds exactly like what I would expect from the big brum race car things. But yeah. Will we finally get to, I don't know, shoot Parker in the face with a gun? Like should have gotten a nice gun for myself. The race car things were spectating the big vrooms. But yeah, what did we do last time? I actually don't remember. We just finished that week, right? And then we remembered that we met Miharu when we were little. That's what we were doing last time. Okay. We removed Florida Man. Yeah, hell yeah, finally. No more Florida Man. There's no need for Florida Man. Who was actually from Texas. But that doesn't matter anymore. He's dead now. Alrighty. Let's get into it. It doesn't feel like I've had a nightmare when I jolt awake. I normally wake up in a cold sweat whenever that man appears in my dreams. Wow, the cat is still there. As always, whenever the man appears in your dreams. Looks like Leather poured the covers off of me at some point. That explains why I feel so cold. Actually, it's got nothing to do with temperature. It's got more to do with the fact that I remember the man appearing in my dreams. I'm not sure why, but I'd completely forgotten about him until now. That's right, he's appeared a number of times before. Some theories claim that the brain organizes one's memories while asleep, which results in our dreams. It may be possible to dream about past events that you've forgotten based on that theory, but the dreams I have feel more like I'm literally reliving those events. Dreams. Parker said that the dream world represents a wealth of possibilities. In that case, they might not be mere memories, but the representation of a world that could be. Aha! Is this it? Is my multi-timeline theory finally paying off? Who in the world is that man? Yeah. Well, if Leather turns out to be that man, then he has sprites, so I'll take it. Yeah, probably pointless to rely on Leather for an answer. Who knows, maybe that word has dreams of the past as well? Then again, I can't say whether or not cats even dream in the first place. Please consider, what if this cat is soft? I still think this cat is sus. Well, Rinka, you were a child. I don't remember I remember fucking nothing of my childhood. I wonder if Miharu remembers those days. Then again, it's Miharu we're talking about, she definitely does. She probably noticed that I'd forgotten and decided not to bring it up. Those events feel heavier than her confessions somehow. In fact, it might even be possible that she's liked me ever since those days. I remember fuck nothing of last week, that is a mood. What day is it today? Exactly. Not anything before we were teenagers. Who? My mom or my grandparents telling me what stuff I did as a kid. I was like, me? Who are you talking about? Me? Me? I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking too highly of myself, but it would explain why she hates saying goodbye. You sure fucking do. I feel my cheeks heat up as I recall her confession. It's almost been a week. I wonder if there's a time limit or something for people on the receiving end of the confession. It'd help if someone told me. I'll put it off for just a bit longer. If she asks about it, I'll apologize and explain. Alan and Federico are still at large, so I don't want to answer until I settle things with them. Yo, do you say about car relay? I remember when I was a little child, I actually could remember cars and tell you what brand they were. And now I look at car and go, has tires. Can maybe run like 60 kilometers per hour. Maybe more. Is red. Coming to school every Monday has been something of a cathartic experience for me lately. It's proof that I'm able to live and see another week. Miharu is already there by the time I arrive, so we spend some time chatting until class starts. Once lunch rolls around, I make my way to the rooftop as usual. Meanwhile, Mao stays in class so she can finish up the homework that needs to be handed in during 5th period. Homework given to us last Tuesday, might I add. Oh, she's such a mood. Say it again, say it to my fucking face. What? I finished it the day we got it, so I get to chill and enjoy my lunch. After some small talk, I decide to bring up an important topic. I'm referring to the discussion between Federico and Parker about whether or not her vessel has access to her powers. While it turns out that isn't the case, Parker did say that she retains the ability to alter fate even from within her vessel. That statement seemed to take Miharu by surprise. Hope your car runs to 60, otherwise you can use your enemy. Yeah, of course it does. Mine can go up to... I don't know. That's a good question. I think if I really push it, it could go up to maybe 200. But... no, it definitely can go up to 200. I already pushed it to over 200 once. Aha! Your car can go up to 250 if you don't have a limiter. Man, I don't fucking know. It drives. It's pretty and it drives. That's all that matters to me about a car. Going fast sounds like a crime. Germany! That's literally all it is. If there's no limit on the Autobahn, then you can go fucking 250, 260 if there's no one in your way. If there's someone in your way and you go 260, then you have a problem. I think I didn't close my door correctly. Can you imagine going 210? Yeah, we visited a friend some time ago. And normally we're like half an hour apart, and I got there in like, I don't know, 17 minutes, and she was terrified. Me too though. When I realized how fast I was going. It's terrifying, a little. So I hope you guys don't mind. I still have a bit of my dinner snacks left, so if you hear crunching, I'm very sorry. It's my peppers. Okay, where's you on? No, I'm not that bad. Apparently Miharu had wanted to see me again ever since that day. That never came about due to her family circumstances though. They moved to the countryside not long after our last meeting, and they did it because her dad caused an accident in which a child lost their life. Not only did the family get ostracized by the locals, but they faced harassment as well. They refused to let Miharu attend a nearby elementary school or things like that. Once they moved to the countryside, they started using her mother's maiden name instead of her father's. The accident left her father mentally impaired and unable to hold a standard job. It eventually led to him committing suicide when she was in 6th grade. Very casually dropped. Okay. I know he wasn't. That's literally what it's like though. I don't like driving too fast for too long because I feel like you lose all sense of speed. But sometimes it is nice when it's literally empty and you can just push on the gas and just go for a little. On the other hand though, we had that discussion some time ago. Most of you guys here do not actually have your driver's license, so maybe it's just me who likes to go fast. Suicide was Miharu's cause of death as well. I noticed, but I've never asked why. It might be best that I never know in truth. Miharu continues her story. Her father's suicide incited rumors of the accident he caused to spread. The results were even more fierce in such a small rural area. It led to her entire family having to move once again. Having returned to Tokyo, Miharu chose to enter Amicha because it offered scholarships to middle school students and it carried appeal to those wishing to attend college. She only knew my name at the time, so the chances of her meeting again were slim, especially when you considered that I wasn't part of any clubs or particularly well known. Even so, Miharu's wish to find me again never faltered. She figured she would have the best chance by going to a school in Tokyo. Yeah. Driving for video games, we live for excited. That is understandable. You guys are so funny. No, I drive by the rules. I drive by the rules, I definitely do. I hate nothing more than when you hear about accidents in where someone is involved and it was caused because someone drove too fast and paid too little attention to the road. I would never do that. I would hate myself for life. You're out of your 2 years though, so at least you can do some things. Yeah, I've been for quite a while now. My good dude, I did my driver's license when I was 17. I turned 23 this year, in like 3 months. Okay, no. I don't do that. On the other hand, we don't have cops that much here. Does Parker know who becomes a participant though? Ouch! Okay, way to casually tell me I'm not as intelligent as you, Miharu. Cops and drivers haters and still there since birth. Miharu just burned Rika, yup. I figured she was joking at first as a way to lighten the mood, but judging by her reaction to my comment, she's serious. Ouch, my pride. Guess I can't blame her. She's been aware of my middling grades since my acceptance, but still, being told I'm an idiot to my face sucks. A little, just a little.
大丈夫。それに心配しすぎだよ。私だってちゃんと勉強すればそれなりの点数は取れるしね。高校受験の時は頑張ったし。I cannot imagine a school life where you have like midterms and finals. Like here you just write tests all year round. It's so, I don't know, unbelievable to me. The only time you actually, of course I had finals, but like only in my final year, obviously, in my final year of all of school. And not every year. No? Like we have tests all year round, and then in your final year when you finish school and you take your, I don't fucking know, diploma is the wrong word, but I don't know what else to call it right now. Of course in that year you have finals, but still during that entire year you still have your normal tests
And then the especially hard ones for your finals, right? Just me? Just my school system being fuck awful? Yes, no? I'm confident in that claim. There's no denying that fate can be and has been altered through divine selection. The results may not be perfect, but it's clear that there's a power we can't begin to comprehend at play. Still, that doesn't make the time we spend together meaningless. Tests every week and there were especially quarterly exams. No, we had tests every other week, and then those were some that were not announced, where the teachers would just be like, haha, test now, so we can see that you prepare yourself for every single fucking lesson, which I hated very much. And then those where they could ask you more of the stuff you were supposed to learn in class, which were announced when you would write them, and they could ask you for like the last 2 weeks and the stuff your what's it called? Hold up, let me look up what that word is in English because I have no fucking clue. Thank you, Google Translate. Your basic knowledge? Yeah, I don't think that's what I want to say. I play... Huh. So you've driven cars before? Yeah. That's not technically allowed here, but on the countryside there's a bunch of kids who obviously were in cars before to help out on their parents' stuff. And then when they take the driver's license, the teachers are like, huh, so you were in a car before, wink wink. After saying that, she offers a pleasant smile. Her hair dances with a gentle breeze.
ところで、僕に疑われないように期末テストはちゃんと勉強するんだよ。こんな状況だけれど、君にはこれからも学校生活があるんだから。
You too, no? I won't let you give your life.
三原もでしょ。私の意見は変わらないよ。
I have never driven a car before I got my license, though. The bell rings soon after. It goes to show how long we've been talking. We clean it up in a hurry and make our way to class. She never asked about my answer to her confession, despite our being alone. I feel bad about that. Well, give her an answer then. Linka. You can start driving small engine bikes. Ah. Yeah, I think that's the same here. I always wanted... what are they called? Those weird bikes? Not weird. What are they called? Vesta? One of those. Because I think they're pretty. The pastel colors ones? I always wanted one of these, but like... I have no use for them. I wouldn't even be able to get anywhere. I think they're so cute. I had a smart car until like last year, which is also very cute. If you're just one person, you can easily drive anywhere you want in those. Hi, thank you so much for the raid. Yay! Hello. Please tell me you didn't do BE. I have no clue what you mean. Hi! Were you streaming Nier today? I think you were streaming Nier today, right? How was it? Also, hi Raiders! It's me, I'm Nue. We are playing a funny visual novel, which is half of the stuff I do usually, play visual novels. The other half is RPGs. How are you? You were streaming Nier. Ooh! How you like it so far? I started last Saturday with Nier as well. But I feel like I'm going to get stuck immediately. License for big cars and trailers. Yeah, the normal one, right? Finish the desert temple thing. So, ooh. The what reference? There's a Zelda reference in the desert temple? The only thing I remember about the desert temple is me losing my mind in the third room. No, there's a bigger one. The normal one just got... Aha. Mate, I don't fucking know. I got my driver's license and I'm allowed to drive cars and small... I don't know. There was a cute Zelda reference at the end with the prince. Ah. Okay, to be fair, I have not played most Zelda games. So I probably did not get it. The third one was horrible. I actually looked up a guide for it. And even then I still fucked it up. I was this close. You cannot see my hand, but I'm making a very, very small sign with my two fingers. I was this close to ending the fucking game at that point, but you couldn't save anywhere. I'm glad you like it so far, though. If you only just finished the temple, then I can watch your next stream now. Haha. Because I'm also playing it blind. Exactly that. That is what I did. I was this close. Took so long got through it. Yeah. Nice. We're also getting closer to the... Well, I don't know if we're actually getting closer to the end of this game, but we're getting somewhere. Mishima Miharu watches Rinka from behind as they make their way back to the classroom. She's under the impression that Rinka has forgotten about the meeting when they were children. Her attitude makes it apparent that she remembers those events, but Miharu understands that either her confession or regret card triggered Rinka's memory. She doesn't mind if Rinka forgot, considering how long ago it was. In fact, it would be a bigger issue if she does remember based on her attitude toward Miharu. Miharu is willing to forgive Rinka no matter what she does, though. More importantly, Miharu didn't actually recognize Rinka at first.
Hello, hello! How are you?
It was Miharu's first year at Amicha. She often found herself alone due to a lack of friends besides Mao. Her superb grades and looks caused others to avoid her for reasons only they understood. One day, soon after starting high school, she was on a rooftop by herself as Mao had business elsewhere. Oh no, poor Miharu. You are too pretty, so people don't talk to you. Hoo hoo hoo. The scars on her wrists were already present. However, due to being alone, she had forgotten to keep them out of sight. God damn it, Rinka, don't just go up to someone and point out their self-harm scars. Are you stupid? The school year had just begun, so she didn't know the name of that girl. At first she thought they might be from the middle school due to her height, but the uniform ran counter to her assumption. Miharu made no attempt to answer their thoughtless question. She was panicking over the possibility of her wrists being seen. Doubly so due to rumors that had begun to spread. If it's not your business, why would you open up a conversation with that? Imagine you go up to someone in school.
Hey, did you hurt yourself?
Bruh. Bruh. Maybe that's just me. After I say that, they sit down right next to Miharu. Miharu swears to herself that she won't speak to them. She gazes toward the horizon instead. You have the impression you look sad. It's been good. Me too. I'm very much enjoying myself right now. I got that once. I told a guy, oh yeah, I'm watching a specific TV show whenever I feel bad. And he was like, oh, why would you feel bad? Are you depressed? And I was like, excuse me? We've known each other for 20 minutes. What the fuck is your problem? That was an experience. Like a real life experience, not someone online, but real life, face to face. Are you gonna hate me for enjoying a TV show? They never did try to say anything else to her though. Miharu eventually caved and braved a glance at the girl. They were glazing. Rika's a donut now. They were gazing into the distance as well. Something sparked within Miharu the moment she looked over. She knew she was right, and yet she couldn't bring herself to speak. Saying that, the girl stood up to leave. Much to Miharu's surprise, she found herself far too nervous to give any kind of response. That event was all it took to set Miharu free. It only took her till that afternoon to learn that the girl's name was Shishime Rinka, and by the end of the next day, they and Mao had become close enough to have lunch and go home together. I appreciate the game going for they. Okay. Rinka has yet to give her an answer. Miharu is still able to smile whenever she looks at her despite that, however. I wonder if we'll actually give her an answer sometime soon. I would love to. I want to hold her hand like sweet potato. I head back home as soon as class is over. Miharu left in a hurry due to work, while Naomi has other things to do. Mao's normally the one to ask if she wants to head home together, so I left without her. What's an answer? We don't do those here. We only have questions. I hear the sound of someone racing up behind me on my way, though. Yo! I guess Mao has decided to chase after me. Will I ever get an answer? Like, why the clothes are different? Yes, I am still hung up on that, and I will continue to be hung up on that. Whatever do you mean? I always give answers. Are you sure? Mao very much pressuring us a little. I think the closer is a different spice for Shinjumaru. Damn it. I wanted it to be a real deep story related reason. Like we jump timelines. I should just finally get to playing Steins Gate Elite, which I bought when it was on sale years ago, months ago, last year. I already replayed the original like 3 times, so maybe I should just get to playing Elite for my funny timeline jumping. Okay. Huh. Why are you so invested in our relationship, Mao? Times like this make me wonder if she really isn't involved in divine selection at all. I know deep down that she isn't though. Are you sure about that? Why she can seem dense at first blush, but what? Dense at first blush? Is that a thing you say? Dense at first blush? Mao can pick up on the most subtle cues. In fact, she might know more about us and a change in our behavior than we do ourselves. Mao-sama. At first blush is a real saying. What? I've never heard that before in my life. Like at first sight, yes. At first blush? You learn a new thing every day. Mao dashes off in front of me after saying her piece. There's no one who shows their consideration quite like Mao, although that was a huge relief for me. She made it clear that I have time to think and answer when I'm good and ready. My priority isn't how our relationship will develop moving forward, it's figuring out how to make sure we both survive. Nice. I changed into some clothes I don't mind getting dirty when I get home. My gran asked me to do something for her, so today I'm keeping the store closed so I can finally get around to it. Cleaning her room, I mean. She had planned on coming home this week for a bit, but that got cancelled thanks to scale. When she get another chance was anyone's guess, so she asked me to clean her room for her. I actually got scolded for not having cleaned it already, but it's only because I thought it would be better not to mess with her stuff. I'll start cleaning it regularly after today. There's something else I need to do in here though. Oh. What? Why afraid to black? Huh?
お帰りなさいま。いってらっしゃいませ。
Will we ever get to hear her do a full Kairi nasaimasen, Koshichin-sama, Ocho-sama? Never. Here's your made week content. I said it. Bye. Miharu attempts to greet her customers per usual, but she switches gears the moment she sees their face. It's none other than Federico. Again? The fact that he's here means he has business with her. She shows him to his seat and then brings him some water. Leaving him to another staff member is too risky, so she decides to wait on him herself. Even in loud! How are you? Stop hitting on a fucking high schooler! I will punch you in the dick! Can't stay silly, but felt like saying hey. That is very nice of you to do. It's very nice that you're feeling... You're doing pretty well. I am perfectly fine. I feel like I'm... stumbling over my own tongue. Even more than usual, but that's okay. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. I don't know why. Just do. Please do. Please ban him for life. I want to see Federico get banned from a maid cafe for life. Yes! Valbrain's absolute marge. That is a mood. It isn't hard for her to figure that he's referring to McCrown. She isn't aware of the specifics, but chances are it involved him getting blackout drunk. More importantly, something seems off about him to her. He seems far more composed than usual, almost like he's completely changed since she last saw him. Have a nice stream. Thank you! You have a good night. A good evening, if you will.
なんでもないよ。そうだな。あと1時間ほど待っていてくれないかい？そうすれば休憩に入るから。僕がここに。
I know this is quite late into the game, but I do wonder how rich like all these participants are that they just were able to book a flight to Japan and just those that are alive still stay there for weeks on end. In hotel rooms when like they probably booked those a day before they arrived in Japan, which is very hard and expensive. Do you think they sell wine in a maid cafe?
残念ながらそんなものはこの店にはないよ。あるのは偽物の愛情がこもったまずいコーヒーだけさ。
It's already surprising that I have any alcohol. He pulls out a book after giving his order. It's a book that seems unusual for a man like him, not on a visual level. The cover suits his image quite well. Rather, its contents, a collection of works from a famous painter. Miharu casts her mind back to when she and her dad went to an art exhibition focused on the very same artist. Ah. I wonder who will die. Like Federico or Alan. Federico is down bad, yep. He's on his knees. I retreat to my bedroom after an hour or so of cleaning. Dealing with 2 months worth of dust is tougher than expected. Lots of vacuuming, not to mention the initial round of dusting. Doesn't help that she's got everything nice and organized, so I have to be extra careful. I need to do this on a regular basis. I'm about halfway done now, so it feels like an appropriate time to take a break. Wait, it's in the... No, never mind, we saw this option before. What if it's not Federico or Alan? Don't! Don't do that. Unless it's fucking Parker. Don't say that. I give my thoughts room to breathe. Cleaning her room doesn't bother me at all. It just hurts when I think that I won't see her here again for a while longer. In all honesty, I'd be lying if I said I don't hold a grudge against Gale for what he did. The sadness I feel over her not coming far outweighs it though.
よし、続き
Well,
だ。
I do still hold a grudge against Gale. He can go fuck himself. Excuse me. Think about it, the clock again. Parker fucking dies. No clickbait. Goddess gets shot in the face and fucking dies. Death game survivors managed to be set free. Boom. I guess I'll have with my sports string before getting back to work. Ew, sports strings. Ooh, you are. Rinke and Parker tried to stop a bullet with a phone book. I think trying to shoot a goddess usually goes well in fiction. Psst. I love Crab Rave. I unironically really... I could listen to that song all day. It's so funny. Alan Scorpion finds himself standing outside Lionhouse. God damn it. Suddenly declaring his closure for the day causes him to sigh.
そうか。
While a common sight for the store's regulars, it is a spot of bad luck for Alan. He wants to discuss things properly with Inka. He could do it over the phone, seeing as he has a number, but he wants to see the look in her eyes as she does it.
仕方ないか。
You can just knock! No! We would probably let him in, right? We have let almost everyone in, even though the store was closed. But TV no True, that would be a fun idea. I don't know how that works though. I have no clue what better team that thing does. Alan abandons his plan and sets off to find somewhere else to satisfy his hunger. If he's going to go to the maid cafe as well, I'm gonna cry. Oh no.
待たせてね。
Federico has long since finished his coffee by the time Miharu comes over to see him. He closes his book and cuts to the chase.
アラン・スコーピオンの死因を教えてくれ。
Why? The contrast between him doing this and his typical attitude takes Miharu aback. Federico notices this, but opts not to address it.
スケールと組んでいた時、ユウを脱落させたら教えてもらうって。
But we're not working together anymore, right?
オデットが独自で動いたことや、スケールがあんたを信じてなあなあになっていたが、俺にはその情報を知る権利があるはず。
How did your mind arrive at that conclusion, my good dude? His attitude continues to surprise her. She had him pegged as far more brash and careless person, the type that could never truly be cruel to another. That impression remained firm even during the latest round of divine selection. He even seemed the same when he first arrived at the restaurant, but everything changed the moment he took his seat.
なるほど。
She takes a moment to think before answering. Ignoring her outright is one option, but he seems to hold no hostility toward her. Add in the fact that he seems worth talking to right now and...
問題は2つある。ただし、どうやらここで話す話題ではないようだ。
No.
君が出禁になってしまったあの店、どうにかして交渉できないかい？
No, he is banned from that bar for life.
しかし、
Oh, come on.
わかった。なんとかする。
You could just go to Lionhouse, right? This is absolutely not the place to discuss anything related to divine selection. Miharu is confident he'll be able to sort something out, although the confidence she has in him perplexes her. After arranging to meet in 3 hours, Federico pays his bill and leaves. Just bribe the bartender. Miharu was no, I can talk with Rinka, what do you mean? It's like, hi, we need a place where we can talk about divine selection. Wait, does Federico still think Rinka and Miharu don't work together? No, right? He must know by now. Night is fallen by the time I finished cleaning my grand's room. Getting it all out of the way today was a good call at least. It looks nice and clean now. All that's left is to wash the windows on Saturday. Oh, what is going on? Hello? Why am I lagging? Hold up. Hold up, why am I lagging? I do not like being laggy. I really hope he doesn't. I don't want him to be himbo. Stream's having buffering issues for me. Oh, god damn it. Yeah. Yeah, OBS is telling me, is giving me a big red bar. Why this? It's on you and this time? I thought this Twitch doesn't like me again. No, I think it's on me. I think it's on me this time, actually. I don't really see why, though. I have nothing else open. No, I think it's our internet. It seems to be our internet. Is Twitch, is Steam downloading something maybe? No. I have no clue. Oh god, this is bad. This is horrible. What is going on? I'm gonna quickly restart stream in hopes of maybe fixing it. Just a second. Hee ho ho ho. Hee ho he ho. I'm not moving. Nope. Delay seems to get pretty high as well. This is horrible. Yikes, what is going on with our network? Did Windows do a thing again? I have no clue. Whee! Oh, come on, I just want to play Fatal Frame? What? Fatal 12. No, I don't know what this is. But apparently our network is down bad. And I'm using an Ethernet cable, so God knows what this is. Wow, I move like every few seconds only. This is horrible. Fatal Frame is a different type of game. Fatal Frame is a game series I love a lot, but I could never play it myself, probably. Is this another Splatoon stream? I sure hope it isn't. I have literally nothing open except for OBS. Like, for real, nothing. Just OBS. And the game. I don't know. My parents are both in home office. Maybe that's why it's so bad right now. Maybe maybe because they're also on the network. We have a problem right now. I have no clue. I say I'm just going to try. I mean, it is a visual novel. It's not like there's going to be a lot of moving except for me, and I'm just a little laggy, I guess. I'm just gonna not move at all, so you guys won't even notice that I'm lagging. Maybe it'll fix itself. Or maybe it is a problem with Twitch. Please let it be a problem with Twitch for once and not me. Nah, this is definitely a me problem. Brrr, I hate it. I hate it. Wop. Wop. Duolingo just did its thing, at least. There we go. Even Duolingo is lagging. It's constantly buffering every 5 seconds. Wow. I love that. Love that for myself. I wonder why. Also, why is this happening on a weekday? I would understand on like Saturday, but I've never had this happen on a weekday. I really don't want to have to abort stream here. That would be horrible. I want to actually get something done in the game today. But if everything is only buffering, then that's obviously no way to watch a stream. Why? Why is this? It's just me. This is fine. You just hear me like 5 seconds later than usual. Haha. I can't even restart the router because my parents obviously need it for working from home. I do need a crying emote sometime, apparently. Have you done a speed test? I am doing that right now. Let me see. Let me see what it says. Gonna fucking stream by using mobile data. Maybe that will run more smoothly. How does English work? Smoother? Smooth? Bleh. Oh, yep, my upload is going down bad. Oh, fucking hell. Ooh. Oh ho ho ho, it's not normally this bad. Ha ha ha! It's not normally this bad. What is going on? Whoops, I accidentally kicked the cable. Stream work, please. Yeah, stream, please. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna check with my parents if I can maybe restart the router and get this to work again, because this is horrible. I want to play this game tonight. I want to give you all some good content. And I'd feel really bad if I had to abort stream right here. Oh my fucking god, look at me. Noor go brrr. Noor will be right back. Noor will have the game running though, because the game has some very nice BGM, so... Apparently my parents do not have any problem at all. Wait, what the fuck? My bar's green again. OBS? OBS, are you working now? Screen on the stairs to stop working. Yes, fuck! I'm trying to stream here. Wow! Wait, is it working now? Now it's smooth. It was me. It was me blocking the waves. Is it working? Am I smooth? Stream starts seconds latency broadcast. Is it smooth now? A little. Yeah, I'm moving. I can see myself moving. It's a little better than before, at least. So let's get some Fatal 12 in here before before it turns bad again. Seems better now. Okay. One day. Are you fine now? I hope I am. One day I want to stream without either my internet or my hardware or Twitch hacking up. It's annoying. Now I have to put these two streams together as one. Streamload for viewers should help as well. All of the 0 skip frames, I think we're fine now. Okay. Well, it still says I have dropped frames, but... Well, it is a visual novel, so there's not too many frames. It's just me. I'm the one doing all the frames. Alrighty. Let's get back to cleaning. Sorry for that. One day, everything shall work fine. Maybe. Oh, and I have hiccups now, thanks. I take a nice warm shower to wash off all the sweat and dust. And I'm not in the right... There we go, tab. Ideally, I'd follow that up by crawling into bed and sleeping, but there's something else I need to do first. I take a deep breath and turn my attention to a certain book. What do you mean? Huh? It looks exactly the same as my card book. The one major difference is that this one is far more worn than mine, to the extent that it looks like it'll fall apart without proper care. The color and decorations on it are practically the same too, although hers feels somehow more unique than my card book, almost like it was handcrafted as opposed to being mass-produced. My gran was surprised when she saw my card book during my visit the other day. I recall sending her a photo of it back before I realized its purpose. She didn't seem concerned at the time, claiming that there might be a similar book in her room. It wasn't until she saw the real thing that she remembered having one that looks the exact same. There's no way I would let that comment slip past. I asked if I could check it out while cleaning her room, which she agreed to. It took little effort to find, considering she remembered where it was. All I had to do was pull a box from the bottom of a bookshelf and open it. How what now? That's what she told me anyway. That would mean this has been around for over 100 years. Makes sense considering its ragged condition. The book's history alone makes it a pretty important relic. With that in mind, I take a deep breath before opening it. Its contents are all written in English, which doesn't surprise me. My gran revealed that her own gran was from England, making her a quarter English. I was kind of amazed that she never once brought that up in the 16 years we'd spent together. When questioned about it, she replied that it's because I never thought to ask. Oh, come on! Not only does this mean I'm 1/16 English, Rika about to go to school like, I'm mixed! But apparently also explains the gold coloring in some of my... That's not how genetics work, I think. I'm pretty sure that's not how genetics work. You know, in Hypnosis Mike, in Hyp Mike, there's three brothers, and all of them have heterochromia, but different kinds. One of them has blue and red eyes, the other one has blue and a yellow eye, and the other one has a yellow and a red eye. That's not how it works. But they're like, Also, their dad has heterochromia too. With, again, I think another combination of colors and just like, there is no way you have heterochromia and all 3 of your children will also have it and also have all different colors of it. That's not how it works. No. I'm not that good at biology, but that's not how it works. Setting that aside, she also said that she never bothered to read the book because her grasp of English is poor, to put it nicely. It remained an important memento of her own grandfather, so she couldn't bring herself to throw it away. It's a diary. The first page is a simple brown flyleaf. Page 2 is where the diary starts. It's all handwritten, although the ink is starting to fade here and there due to its age. Can't say I'm too familiar with English writing habits, but something about the penmanship tells me it was written by a woman. Okay. That would mean it's my great-great-grandmother's diary. I place my cardbook next to the diary before reading it. I should be able to read just fine thanks to the cardbook's effects.
でも文字がかすれてるせいなのかあんまり頭に入ってこないな
I am uncomfortable that apparently her great-great-grandmother was involved with this thing already. It takes me half an hour to make it through just 2 pages. I'm sure it's nothing. It's so difficult to get a heterochromia, I think, yeah. It's really rare. And like, if one person in your family has it at some point, there's no guarantee that another person will show up in the same family just because. I mean, it's fiction. You can do whatever you want, but still. Come on. 3 brothers? All heterochromia? Heavers? That's not. Oh god, my English is gone. I exchanged my English ability against a smooth stream. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the hydrate time and the posture check. Just a second. Miharu's Rinka's great-grand. No! It's okay, English isn't real. True that. English is not real. Let's just all go back to monkey. Return to monkey. The best comparison I can make is that it's like trying to read Japanese, except the kanji are all jumbled up. Not being able to make out certain phrases is what makes it hard to decipher, basically. That's why Rinka needs a magical book to understand it. From what I could get through, it seems like a regular diary. She talks about food she ate, who she talked to, that kind of stuff. I was right about it being written around 100 years ago, so it's pretty interesting to learn the cultural differences between the early 1900s and today. What do you mean? You just got to 2 pages and that's already... you can already tell? It'll take a while to get through the entire thing at this pace though. Plus it might not say anything related to divine selection at all. It might be best if I just check whether or not diaries like this were sold at the time if I can't find anything relevant by flipping through. I'll read one more page tonight before bed and then a few more tomorrow. That should be enough to decide if it's worth perusing the rest or not. I noticed something curious while solidifying my plan. Oh, I almost forgot. This diary was made and given to me by my sister Diana for my birthday. There's a way to get it by getting a good internet. That explains my early thoughts, although I figured it was more due to the time taken its toll on the book rather than its craftsmanship. Now I'm even more curious about the link between it and our card books. It's definitely one of a kind. There was no internet back then, so they couldn't have published the design somewhere for others to easily replicate. The theory I had 10 minutes ago has already been proven wrong thanks to this. Rinka, I'm very fucking sure that this book that looks exactly like the magical book you own, which is apparently 200 years old, would have something to do with your game. Just an idea. Just maybe. My gut is telling me I'm right. I doubt anyone would think otherwise when faced with these same mysteries. I had planned on studying tonight, but I can't wait. Instead, I take the diary downstairs with me. I'll need the right environment to read through this beast. They managed to get into the bar. Miharu finds herself at Milk-Crown for the first time in around 2 weeks. While the idea of a high schooler visiting a bar like this is problematic in and of itself, Miharu has already become accustomed to it. Imagine you get to play a dev game and get to live and have fate in your head. In your head? And keep your card collector's album. Federico's already there by the time she arrives. He's wasted no time in buying a drink, it seems. The boss lighting reflects off the amber liquid in his glass.
店で一番高いウイスキーだ。こいつを入れるって約束で出禁を解除してもらった。
Brother, I am underage.
さすがに
As I keep telling you.
あんたも飲むか？
はあ、だから僕はお酒を飲まないよ。君にとっては残念かもしれないけれど。
On the other hand, I am scared of people who just drink milk straight up. Her decision leaves him visibly disappointed, leading to him and the bar owner clinking their glasses together on their own. Miharu sighs in response as the owner doesn't seem to care at all that Federico had been bought once before, now that he's forking out a hefty sum for a drink. Well, I mean, he's a paying customer. People who drink milk in general or the milk in a bar? Both? Like, just the idea of, I don't know, getting a glass and pouring milk into it and just straight up drinking that, nothing else? Scary. Very. Why would you order milk in a bar? Yeah. Federico's attitude while drinking is much more in line with the previous image of him. She feels an odd sense of relief over this. It's a very personal problem. What? But how does that taste good? Like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything, it's just I cannot follow that line of thought. Like, for me, milk is something you put to... It just tastes good. Okay! For me, milk is something you put together with, I don't know, fucking cereal or something, but not just on its own to eliminate your thirst. It tastes like milk. It's not chugging around that. Bruh, I don't know. I can't drink milk. Like, I don't like the taste of it on its own, for one, and on the other, my body also cannot take it. Yeah, but the only time I take milk is when I put cereal in. So it's just soaked cereal with a little milk. Which still kills me, but like, that's beside the point. That is not just milk anymore, because it takes on the cereal taste, I guess. I drink the cereal milk. Yeah, but it's only very little. I always make sure I have only the very basic amount of milk you need to douse the cereal. Oh no. Oh no, the bar's red again. No, let me play my game, please. This is like parallel universe stuff to me. No. The bar's red. The bar's green. The bar's red. The bar's green. Who's playing? Who's playing with my internet here? This comes from the milk talk. Okay, no more milk talk. No more milk talk. I need my internet back. No! Every time I say milk, it goes red. Stay green, please. I will stop talking about milk. No. No. Yes, it's green. Fate doesn't want you to finish this game while defeating Fate. Damn it. Damn it, Fate. Twitch you. Make Twitch. No. It's not that I blame anyone for liking milk. Listen, if you like milk, that's perfectly fine. It's just... Please, Twitch, don't kill me. No. This is like watching a stoplight that does not have enough batteries anymore. It's just flickering on and off. Needless bells come to punishment this way. Why is New spreading propaganda poisonings? I'm not! Listen! Listen, milk is perfectly fine. You can like milk. It's perfectly fine. Please. I'm not trying to force milk. Oh my god. Redemption arc. I just see it flickering down there. Red, green, red, green. Is the stream actually moving? Why do you say positive stuff? I love all of you. I love Twitch. I am very... Oh my god, it turned red immediately when I said I love Twitch. Thanks. I just want to stream my game. It got worse. The stream switched to me 30 FPS on 7. Great. Lovely. This is fine. The fight for stable streaming is the game now. Apparently. Oh! Oh! Are we good? Are we good? Oh! 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 Okay, okay, let's get back to game. No more make existence. Quick, quick before Twitch decides. Listen, we can do this. We have to speed read now. She goes on to explain that she doesn't know the details behind how it happened. This means that Federico will be unable to obtain a card even if she reveals it to him. Huh? Icky Stubborn is gonna turn bad again. No! I see. You are down so bad. You are down so bad, my good dude. He urges her to tell him about the second issue. Before she can say anything more, he downs the rest of his drink and gets his glass refilled. I think he's gonna change his name to Federico Dead. No! Miharu had already heard about how Scale targeted Rinka's grandmother and how it was Ellen who saved her. It was easy for her to deduce that Ellen felt some sort of attachment to Rinka based on both that and what she had heard previously. At the same time, his actions didn't seem like those for someone who intended to survive divine selection. Why? What beef do you have with Alan, except for that one time he called you dumb and coward? Called you dumb and coward. I will forcefully castrate you. Miharu can only think of one woman as she watches him laugh after making that comment. It leads her to understand why he felt like a different person before. Listen, he was perfectly fine before. Why does he keep saying this now that it's just him? You already did it a long time ago, remember? It wasn't enough apparently. No, it wasn't done. It wasn't done because you was eliminated, remember? So I have every right to do it. Ha ha ha. That's not how it works. What do you mean? Everything they do during that period of time? When they get eliminated, gets undone. I know. The participants remember and everything, blah blah blah. Still though, it's funny. Trying to rip some of those piercings off. No, the piercings are good.
断る。高校生を何だと思っているんだい?
Miharu takes a breath before continuing.
しかし、今日は喉が渇いていてね。
Not on him.
もう一杯ミルクを飲む間くらいは。
Listen, if I knew nothing about this game and about this character, if you showed me him before I played this, I would have agreed. He looks good. But, as I've said time and time again, his personality fucking sucks. There's a reason why she decides to say this. It's because she knows. She knows this will be the last time she and Federico will ever cross paths in the real world. Miharu goes straight to bed upon returning home. The next day, she manages to obtain Federico's regret card. She got it as she reflected on the events of the night before by taking a bath. I can change him doesn't help if I remember what he keeps saying when I see him. I could change him, but I don't feel like doing so. I feel about ready to collapse when I'm only about 1/6 through the diary. I've always been a slow reader, but I'm probably going twice as slow thanks to the faded writing. That's about the only thing I can say after what I've read so far. I feel both guilty and slightly embarrassed reading it, since it feels like I'm peeking into someone else's life. Apparently my great-great-grandmother's name was Linda. The vague similarities between it and my own name make me feel a bond with her. Her dad was an English clockmaker. Oh no. No. Both he and his wife moved to Japan before Linda was born. He visited Japan once before to instruct others about his craft, and it left quite a positive impression. The decision to move was a result of the company he previously instructed offering him a permanent position. Linda was born not long after they moved, and her younger sister Diana followed the next year. I doubt that my gran remembers much about Diana, and I'm just now noticing how well designed his diary is. My bias against the design, thanks to my cardboard, got in the way of that. She must have been a nice person if she was willing to make something this nice for her sister. The contents of the diary itself give the impression that they got along well. Part of me feels a bit jealous since I don't have any siblings. Now that I think about it, Miharu and Naomi are the same. Mao is a younger brother, which makes her my only friend with a sibling. Anyway, I chose to put a fucking pepper in my mouth right before this very long text. I close the diary after glancing at my clock. I make sure to be nice and gentle so the spine doesn't crumble. Conquest, it's all coming together. I don't actually know what he sounds like in English. I've never seen those movies in English. Having decided to pick up where I left off tomorrow, I head up to my room. I just know Isma's German voice is fucking iconic. Zieh den Hebel, Kronk! Der falsche Hebel! Oh, Kronk is from, the king- wait. I don't know if it's actually called a Kingdom for Llama in English as well. Because that's what German name translates to. Well, the next guy that falls for her will have a very hard time because she apparently does not like guys. Well, like so far, it's definitely... Well, either she's a lesbian or she's bi. Or maybe she's recasexual. Who knows? Federico chats aloud on a near-empty train. His destination? The airport. He finds himself thinking back on his life during the ride. Born in southern Italy, his life was an amalgamation of what now? Of failures. As a child, he was often bullied. He was as thin back then as he was now, only shorter. It left him with no real means to defend himself. His attempts at retaliation resulted only in further beatdowns, both physical and verbal. He became a child who knew the taste of defeat well. At the same time, his parents had settled on a divorce after dealing with a lot of friction. Can I stop reading about divorce anytime soon, please? I don't even know what Wait. Yeah. Why did I read that again? Federico wanted to stay with his mother. There was no deep reasoning behind it. He simply liked being around her more at the time. But even those feelings were linked to failure. Huh? The divorce was due to an affair on the mother's side. Naturally, Federico had no involvement in it, but he considered his choice a failure regardless. His mother opted to move in with the man she was seeing and eventually married him. The wedding ring wasn't something she left to Federico. He snatched it when it tumbled out of the garbage. Even so, he couldn't bring himself to part with it, as it represented his desire to see her once more. The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah, exactly. 20 years later, he finally realized that it served to symbolize his inability to win his mother's love. At least I can spoil myself on a Disney wiki. Maybe. Is this finally your backstory time, Federico? The first time he started dating someone was just after entering high school. She was a frank girl, one to always drag him around at her whim. While things appeared steady between them, it was all for nothing when she had to move away. Putting aside what he thought of those events, his high school life was nothing but failure, even when he was no longer the target of bullying. He was surrounded by people far more skilled than him in the soccer club. No matter how hard he tried to surpass them, he could never manage it. Even when he put his all into studying, he was never once able to get the best grades in class. Compounding these with the failures of his childhood led Federico to become a child who would always hold himself back, not that he was aware of it. Much like how he was never aware of the misfortune it continued to cause him later in life. His fear of failure led to his decision to not apply to any universities, a reality that he continually denied. Instead, he started up his own business. This choice was spurred on by his father's death, which left him with a fairly large inheritance. The business itself wasn't complicated. Anyone with a good amount of money on their hands could do it. He loaned money to those who were struggling, attached a hefty interest rate, and then collected what he was owed at a later date. Of course, he made sure to choose his business partners well, people who couldn't inform the police of his activities due to their having multiple deaths or criminal records. In other words, those who'd experienced failure on an even greater level than him. There were a number of ways to deal with those who wouldn't pay up. He could force them to visit other loan sharks, lay claim to whatever valuables they had, or simply beat the money out of them. In terms of profit, he was doing somewhat well for himself, until he ran into an issue that money couldn't solve, that was. He had been conducting business in the mafia's territory. Naturally, they weren't pleased. Those across the mafia were likely to be whacked with the snap of a finger. Why are you imitating her laugh now? It doesn't sound good for him. In the end, Federico's first ever business venture resulted in failure. There was only one way for him to escape the situation. He presented the profits he made to one of the mafia's higher-ups and became a member himself. He never held any significant position there, but his abilities allowed him to bring a fair amount of money into the organization. He even began targeting landowners, convincing them to give up their land in exchange for social status. There was one issue, however. A majority of the money he made was funneled straight to the high-ups, which ticked him off. That led to him laundering the organization's money by transferring it to a bank in Switzerland! He set his eyes on a certain shipping company too, one he had dealt with before. Of course, it was no ordinary shipping company. They dealt in weapons, stolen goods, and much more. The boat itself was stateless, but its representative was a woman from France. They were effectively a group of independent mercenaries. He's adopting a mannerism so she can live on in spirit. Yeah, I guess. But it doesn't sound... I miss Odette. Having discussed things with the captain of the ship, that being Odette Malencon, he settled on fleeing the country. The mafia itself was essentially a family-run business. Federico would never make it to the top in that environment, regardless of how hard he tried. Even so, all members had to make a blood oath upon joining. Ready to quit, all that awaited them was prison. Of course, one could not simply quit the mafia and expect to live. And thus, fearing failure once more, he chose to flee. Only for the ship to be targeted by pirates, leading to both his and Odette's death. And then Odette even gave her life for you. Dun dun. By reflecting on his past, Federico is able to lull himself to sleep until he arrives at his next stop. His mind is only on one thing, to get as much information about Ellen as possible before returning to Japan on Sunday morning. But he is yet to notice. Though his life may have been steeped in failure, he's never given in. He's always struggled against that which most people simply accepted. Federico Caminati is no loser in the game of life. Is he? Technically he's dead. Technically we're all dead. Though dying does not make one a loser. I guess. There's no losers in life. No, wait, that's not true. There's people who frame themselves as being winners of life simply because they have more money. I make sure to open the store today after school. I feel feeling better now that my grand's room is all neat and tidy. Federico's a loser, but he's not a permanent loser. He's a get out of loser jail card. You have to give it back after your round is up. Once closing time comes around, I go about my usual routine before bringing the diary downstairs to read it. As always, I make sure to handle it with the utmost of care. And then I delve even deeper into the daily lives of Linda and Diana. I don't know why I say Linda, and Diana, but... Alan finds himself staying at a hotel today. It isn't unusual for him to switch to one over the warehouse in Yokohama every now and then. The warehouse is perfectly fine for him. It does lack the facilities required to recharge his phone and laptop, however. Not that he can deny the pleasure that comes from sleeping on a comfortable bed. While he had made the decision to visit Rinka yesterday, the store she was running was closed. Today, on the other hand, he simply couldn't bring himself to go. If proof was needed for the butterfly effect of missing one's opportune moment, this would be it. It would have no influence on Alan under normal circumstances, yet he finds himself unable to operate as usual when it comes to Rinka. It's the song that goes Linda, Linda, it reminds me of that, I'm not sure if you know it though. Doesn't ring any bells. Doesn't ring any bells. Maybe I do know it, but here, just reading it doesn't ring any bells. Linda, Linda. Oh, Linda, Linda by the Japanese rock band Blue Hearts? Or do you mean a different Linda, Linda? Because that's the one I'm finding right now. That one. Ooh, wow, that's over 7 minutes long. I'm gonna listen to that after stream. One of the when I have no clue what those are. That song is older than I am. He collapses onto his bed and casts his mind back to the first participant he eliminated. Oh! The one we actually do not know anything about. Wow! Your shirt reminds me of Homestuck, which is why I'm glad you got eliminated first. Because otherwise I would have to talk about Homestuck every time I see you. Do you know Elite Beat Agents? Nope. No clue. May 3rd, Sunday. 3 days following the juncture of Alan had been called out to by a lone woman. Alan had received the explanation about divine selection from Parker by this point, but he chose not to go to Japan until after the first round. The woman standing before him was Chan-Chan. She was the one that caused him to forgo his decision and instead come earlier. It wasn't unusual for people he didn't know to request appointments with him considering his position. These requests were typically ignored, however he had no choice but to take notice when she brought up divine selection over the phone. While still somewhat suspicious, it was here he learned that a small number of people found themselves in the same situation as him. Mr. Alan. She stood a few meters away from him, her tone as confident as they came. In Alan's eyes, she seemed like nothing more than an average woman in her early 20s. Her panel was simple, about what one would expect of someone on vacation. Wow. We actually finally get to see someone we didn't see anything of. Don't call people's names strange.
でもね、あんたのことは昔から知っていたのよ。ウィリアム・リュウという男を知っているかしら？知らないな。そうだと思ったわ。ウィリアム、ビルはあなたの会社とも取引がある広告会社の営業担当よ。あなたとも会ったことがあると言っていたけれど、どうやら社長様は 取るに足らない下請け業者のことなんて覚えていないようね。
Isn't that what bosses are usually like? The more the woman spoke, the less Alan cared to be bothered. He was never very good with these types, the ones who gradually drifted off topic the longer they spoke. Was she a regular businesswoman? He would have been long gone.
私はそのビルの婚約者よ。
Okay, congratulations. I don't know who Bill
要
is.
件を早く話してくれないか、ミセスちゃん。
あれどうして私の名前をあんたが知
Chan
っ
is
て
going
る
to
のよ。
defend divine selection.
君はわざわざ僕の会社に電話をしてきただろ。偽名を使ったようだが、せめて非通知でかけてくるべきだったな。
はい。
After he said that, Alan took out a single card. Chan was quite familiar with the card's design. Number 6, named Chan Chan. She wasn't aware of the significance behind the numeral yet, but it was clear that her own name was written on it.
新しくカードが生まれる瞬間も、僕はすでに目撃している。
ちょっとそんなのずるくない？個人情報とかどうなってんのよ。
Henry remained silent in the face of her panic. He was aware that nothing would come from interacting with her as if things were normal.
でも名前でしょ？私なんてありふれた名前だし、どうせすぐにバレちゃうよ。そんなことより、
ちゃんちゃん。貴様の死因は転落死だな。
Uh-oh.
嘘。どうしてあんた
Well,
が
if
知
you
ってるのよ。
react like that, it was simple, really. 6, cause of death fell to their death. He was unable to determine who the card belonged to at the time, as he had yet to meet anyone else in the Court of Fate. However, he soon realized that each participant had an identifying numeral after he came to possess Chan's name card. He had anticipated this by nature of his personal cards containing the numeral 12, but with this he was able to confirm it. Once he knew that Chan was numeral 6, he was able to link her cause of death and name.
私もしかして大事なこと言っちゃってた？
Maybe. Her carelessness was a source of irritation for Alan.
使命を軽んじているならば、その考えは改めた方がいい。ただし、来世ではな。
Alan was already an atheist, but the teaching of his parents seemed to carry a lingering influence on him.
何よ。あんたはまだ私の未練を分かっていないはず。それに
婚前旅行というのか。ただの旅行なのか知らないが、貴様はウィリアムと登山を楽しんでいた。登山といえど本格的なものではなく、ほとんどピクニック。しかし貴様たちは好奇心に負け、ルートを外れて崖の方へと向かう。そちらの方が景色がいいと思ったようだな。
あんたなんで知ってんのよ。
Listen, if you react like this to everything he maybe throws into the room, of course he's going to know.
やだ。あんた顔は悪くないと思うけど、ネクラっぽいから無理。
What is wrong with her?
ビル一筋なんだから。
おそらくこの転落死というのは、その時に足を滑らせたか何かだろうな。わざわざ立ち入り禁止の場所へ行ってその結末というのは。
さいわね。っていうか、早くなんで私のことをそんなに知ってるのか教えなさいよ。
心当たりがないのか、動転して見失っているのか。
Alan made sure to gather as much information on Chan as he could the moment he learned her name. He wasn't entirely convinced that divine selection was real, but the creation of the cards and the existence of a card book that removed all language barriers convinced him not to deny it outright. Information provided one with the upper hand when negotiating. That was the conclusion Alan had reached. It was why he did everything he could to get the information on not only her but her fiancé William as well, though he wouldn't admit to such a thing. Half of what he told her was information she herself had made public via rampant social media posts and updates. While the results of her fall had clearly been undone, it wasn't difficult for him to put the pieces together based on the information he had at hand.
いいわ。もう
あは
遊びは終わりにしましょう。
I see. Chan wiped the sweat from her brow before whipping out a knife. It was a butcher's knife around 20 centimeters in length. Her intent with it clear as day.
私は生き残りたいのよ。
I'm sorry, you're
ビル
trying
との新婚生活が待ってる
You're
んだから。
trying to stab a guy with a 20 centimeter knife who looks like you could probably break it in half with his fingers, and you do that by taking it out in front of him so he knows your intent? She raises the knife before dashing toward Ellen. A mere 5 meters separated them. She would reach him at a speed in an instant. Chen was confident in his speed thanks to having played tennis since childhood. What's more, Ellen was a stereotypical rich boy. He had no means to defend himself, or so she thought.
女神の選定の参加者は死なないと。
How do you look at this guy and think he's just a pretty rich boy? He won't defend himself. What? Alan dodged her with ease before twisting her wrist and stealing the knife from her grasp. He kept hold of her wrist, however, and brought the knife to rest against her neck.
あれなんでこんな状況ちょっと待とうよ
You know, actually, I'm not sad she didn't show up that much now.
信じていないというところか。もっともこの点に関しては僕も試し
Is
て
he
いない
gonna
か
stab her?
信じてはいない。
私やばくない
No.
だってさそれで首の血管を切られたら私
Panic.
死ぬよ
Alan could hardly believe the words coming out of this woman's mouth after her own attempts to stab him. He knew there would be no point in calling out for it, however.
試してみるか。
やだよ助けて
Disasters hardly began to describe what transpired next. Just as Chan screamed, William leapt out of hiding. He attempted to jump Alan, but Alan used Chan as a human shield. William could make no move in that situation, so Alan threw the knife away and pushed Chan toward him. They both fell over as she slammed into him, causing Alan to look down on them both.
ミスター・ウィリアム、今晩は最後の時を過ごすことだな。
Saying that, he took out a third card. Number 6, regret. Married life? Oh.
私の
Oh!
12人の中で君が最も愚かな参加者であろうな。
Married life is a regret, huh? Ellen had lost all interest in Chan by that point. He picked up the knife and tossed it back to them. The last thing he wanted was to raise suspicion by carrying it around when he'd only just arrived in Japan. Yeah, and then he immediately goes to almost kill babies in a hospital. Sure. Not raising suspicion. Neither Chan nor William saw this as an opportunity either. The instinctual fear of him had taken over. Not even a gun would make them feel as though they stood on equal footing with him. Alan had no interest in what they did following that event.
この倉庫は使えるな。
Not only was it abandoned, but no one else seemed to be squatting there either. It's neither too close nor too far from the city. Should everything check out over the next few days, he would use it as a space of operations. I see. Thank you for that flashback game.
今ならあの必死さだけは理解できなくもないか。
Alan lets his thoughts slip out as he stares at the hotel room ceiling. Two hours after I began reading, I made it through another fifth of the diary, I guess. While the diary of a girl living through the end of the Meiji period is interesting in its own right, the structure is inherently different from a novel. That makes the process of reading it pretty tiring. I did come across an interesting tidbit, albeit one unrelated to Divine Selection.
リンダさんたちも黒猫を飼ってたんだな
It had a leisurely attitude and seemed to be more attached to Diana than Linda. It would appear and disappear when it saw fit. By the sounds of it, it could have been Les's great-great-grandcat. That's not how it works, Rinka. They called the cat Leo, which is pretty similar to Lethe. It both starts with an L-E. That's where the similarities end. One diary entry was about how it once stepped on a piece of broken glass, leaving a scar on the paw of its front right leg. Haha, haha. Hey Rinka, want you to check out Les's right front leg? Ha, 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 ha. Speak of the devil, let's let them.
あんたもガラスには気をつけてね実は踏んじゃってたり
You're gonna scream if you see that Lethe also has an injury there. I try to approach, but Lethe runs off. Must have sensed something annoying was about to happen. I assume it's fine if it can still sprint like that. Following that, I close the diary and head back to my room. I don't trust this cat. Once in bed, I start to think about what I should do from here on out. Let's put things into perspective. I have 3 main concerns at the moment. First and most importantly, finding a means for both Miharu and me to survive. I've yet to reach a conclusion, but I'm sure that figuring out the mysteries behind divine selection itself is the right approach. I can't say for sure whether or not I've made any progress until I finish reading Linda's diary. The second concern is gathering information on Alan. This is a difficult one as well, especially when I don't understand his goal. I know for a fact that he holds no hostility toward me, but I hardly think he's willing to let me eliminate him just because of that. That's why I need to discuss things with him. I have no way to contact him, but something tells me that he'll come see me soon. My third and final concern is Federico. I know both his name and cause of death, but have nothing to go on for his regret. I've never talked to him in person, so that makes things even more difficult. You can just fucking talk to Miharu. You are friends. You can work together. Cats are friends. Normally I would agree, but in this one, just then receive a text message. It's from Miharu. I've gathered all of Federico's information. My shift starts later tomorrow, so do you mind if I come to Lionhouse after school? The message itself is short, but I can't help but be amazed at the perfect timing. I text back that works for me. I figure I can use our time to talk to her about the diary as well. I haven't hit a dead end quite yet. Forcing myself to believe that, I set my mind on getting some sleep. Sounds like a plan, Rinka. Rinka, Linda, Rinka, Linda. Miharu and I head to Lionhouse once classes have ended.
あれ、今日は羊さんはいない
We
のか
actually haven't seen her in a while.
用事があるみたい。必要なことなら明日にでも伝えておくよ。
It's pretty rare for Miharu to ask about Naomi. Divine selection requires us to fight our own fate, so maybe that's changed her perspective on Naomi at some point. There wasn't much to what she said, but I could tell there was a slight difference in her attitude toward her. Anyway, it's just the two of us. Mom's probably told her that I'm waiting a bit longer before giving my answer, but even then it still feels a bit awkward to be alone with her. Well, then give her your answer finally. 30 minutes after we arrive at Lionhouse, Miharu leaves for work. We didn't discuss much, but she told me how she met with Federico Monday night and how she was able to deduce his regret from what they talked about. It didn't happen right away, but everything fell into place on Tuesday night, which led to her being able to materialize his card. I didn't ask about the card's contents, but I asked her to fill me in later on the off chance that he's gathering information on me as well. He seems to have no intention of electing me according to her, but I can't hurt to be safe. I made sure to show Miharu the diary too. Its existence took her by surprise just as much as it did for me. I told her that I'd pass any worthwhile information over to her once I'm done reading it. Just before she left, she offered her thoughts on it.
その日記帳は僕にはどこか切り札のようなものに見える。
There's no basis to her claim, but I happen to agree. After she left, I opened the store up for business.
おはよう、マオ。
おはよう。
Wee, finals.
来週から期末とか
Finals, and we didn't we didn't stuttle a singy thing.
その話はやめて。
Hold up. Not to brag, but I haven't studied in the slightest ever since midterms. Midterms weren't much of an issue for me since they happened soon after the divine selection began, but the same can't be said for finals. I actually considered using my card book to cheat my way through the English exam at least, but only total losers cheat. No, you just make good use of the loopholes. It's a fact that I don't have the time to study though. That's when I receive a text message. You're not technically allowed to mess with your phone on campus, but I'll break that rule today. It's from my gran. I heard that finals are coming up. Forget about the store for now and focus on studying. Make sure to send me your results too. Man, goody two shoes here. Fucking hell, I'll cheat if I have to. Who cares? Ink is such a rebel. Yeah. She dyes her hair. It's her natural color. She always comes to class. She does not cheat. She's such a rebel. Everyone should be scared of her.
エスパー。
なになにおばあちゃんから怒られた
マオまでエスパーしないで。
A mere employee can't ignore their boss's orders. It's impossible to keep the store going without keeping in contact with her too. Running the store serves as a nice change of pace, so now I'm just depressed. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I keep reading the diary as usual, but I guess I can avoid failing if I use the time I normally would in the store for studying. In a worst case scenario, I'll ignore English and use my card book. No, bad drinker. Regular life sure can be difficult. Come on, just use it. Who cares? Once school has ended for the day, I return home to study. I put up an announcement about how the store will be officially closed until the week after next. Seems like one of my teachers got in touch with my grand after realizing that I probably wasn't studying this time around. They aware of my circumstances at home, so I can understand why they got in contact. No teacher can ignore a student's poor grades. Are you sure about that? I have to keep on top of studying once the wine selection is over as well, otherwise I won't be allowed to keep running the store. Actually, a teacher once called a friend's mom on her personal number at like fuck knows in the evening to talk about something that apparently happened at school, and then she blocked him. Like, why are you calling me at this time of day at like 11 in the evening? Like, imagine, excuse me. And it was for like forgetting to do his homework or something. She was like, why are you calling me for that? And blocked him. So that's that. I'll have to keep on top of studying once the wine selection is over as well, otherwise I won't be allowed to keep running the store.
Naomi, そろそろ休憩しない？
ダメです。まだ
Oh my god, it's
しか
been
や
even
って
half
ない
an
じゃ
hour.
ないですか。
Rinka, please.
なんか今日のナオミ厳しい。
I'm so glad I don't have to study anymore.
すいません。でも先輩がそこまで
Well, that's not
勉強
true.
が苦手
I
だった
do
ら
like studying on things I actually enjoy. Studying up on things I actually enjoy, but studying for school is always such a drag.
受験の時は目的があったからよかったんだけど、日々のテストのためっていうとどうしても。
ちょっと意外です。まあでも前に英語の問題を出した時悲惨でしたもんね。
Naomi's doing some considerable damage to my moral today. Not like I can blame her. The upperclassman is acting pretty pathetic.
三春は今日もバイト。女神の選定のことを考えながらいつ勉強してるんだろう。
That is a good question.
人それぞれです。先輩、1時間頑張ったら休憩ってことにしませんか？
うん、頑張る。
There's no point in avoiding it, so I decided to stick my head into some books. I used to study with Mao a lot during our first year, but we normally ended up just chatting. In that regard, probably studying with someone like this is a pretty novel experience. I don't want to disappoint Naomi either, so I'll focus for at least this first hour. Please focus for the rest of it as well!
さすがです、先輩。じゃあ、少し休憩にしましょう。
Oh god. An hour and a half later, Naomi finally offers me entrance to the oasis known as a break. It was supposed to happen at the 1 hour mark, but I couldn't bring myself to mention it when the time came. Knowing her, she probably didn't want to interrupt me because she thought I was focused. Equally admirable and depressing, considering that wasn't the case at all. Rinka, please! We spent the break talking and snacking. The topic switches to divine selection at some point. I tell her about how Miro has gathered all of Federico's information and about the diary I found. After mentioning it, I head upstairs to grab it. I place it down right beside my card book. It's almost like a before and after comparison.
これなんだけど。
100年以上前の本。
Naomi loves books,
本当に同じ想
which is
定ですね。
understandable.
それも手作りなら私たちが調べても見つからないわけです。匂いを嗅いでみてもいいですか？
Do you mind if I smell it? I don't.
ちょっとだけなので。あ、触るときに手袋とかいらないんですか？
Naomi, Rinka will not understand
そこまで気にしてなかったけど、今読んでるしね。
because Rinka sees it as just a diary, even though a book over a century old should probably be touched with gloves, yeah.
先輩、もっと大事にしましょうよ。
Actually, wouldn't it be fast if we let Naomi read it?
読み終わったら
Her English is
私も
pretty
読んでいい
good,
ですか？
and she can read way faster than us.
いいけど、私が読み終わったら内容話しちゃうよ。
いいんです。 そんな昔の本を読めるだけで幸せなので。
Seeing Naomi this excited is pretty surprising. At the same time, I realize that the diary will be in peril if I leave it here. Back up to my room it goes. She couldn't keep her eyes off it as I took it away too. Guess it puts just how much she loves books into perspective.
すみません。つい。
You're perfectly fine.
あ、いつものナオミだ。よし、じゃあそろそろ勉強再開しよっか。
That said, we settle on another hour of hitting the books. We study until around 8 p.m, taking infrequent but always welcome breaks.
私、そろそろ行きますね。
Naomi starts packing up to leave. She can't stop herself from smiling after learning just how much Rinka dislikes studying. It has no effect on her impression of Rinka, but seeing the side of her has been a nice surprise. To Naomi, the day was endless fun. What's more, certain desires continue to blossom within her as the days have gone by. The desire for things to continue like this, for memories of these days to remain intact. Naomi isn't a participant in divine selection, that's why retaining her memories carries the same value as Rinka and Miharu's survival. There's no end to the burden caused by these feelings of hers.
よかったら明日も一緒に勉強しませんか？
もちろん。明日はマオとミハルも来るかもね。
Rinka gives the answer with a smile. And Naomi responds in kind. After exiting Lion House, Naomi spots a nearby man muttering to himself. Shock overcomes her the moment she sees his face.
何しばらく休みだ。
Just fucking knock! It's Alan Scorpion, numeral 12 in Divine Selection, one of the 4 remaining participants. Naomi has seen him once before at the hospital when dealing with Keiko. Keiko? The hospital? Wait! Wait, you shouldn't remember this. The name Kanebuchi Keiko causes her mind to flash back to 2 disparate memories. One involves Naomi collapsing from anemia after paying a visit to the hospital. The other involves going to the hospital with Rinka to approach Keiko and learn more about her. Following this, she was attacked by Alan, who had the same goal in mind. What's more, the things she's heard from Rinka are mixed into both memories. The confusion causes Naomi to collapse to her knees. She can feel her mind failing to parse which memory is real and which is fake.
君は
Noticing something is amiss, Alan rushes over to her side. He seems to remember her clearly.
大丈夫か？
She cannot comprehend why he's showing concern for her. It might have made sense if he considered her Rinka's underclassman, but the genuine tone of worry in his voice is confounding. The Alan she's gradually beginning to remember was never this kind. This realization causes her to suffer even more.
中にまだ先輩が。
She somehow fights through the pain to speak. Strangely enough, she doesn't feel that she should keep him away from Lion House at all costs. Around 10 minutes after Naomi leaves, someone else pops into the store. An unexpected person in an unexpected situation to boot.
水とベッド。
Ellen is carrying Naomi with one arm cradling her neck and the other behind her knees. The surprise fades once I notice that Naomi doesn't seem to be feeling right. This isn't the time to ask questions, so I get some water ready and take her upstairs to my room. The idea of having Ellen come into my room isn't all that thrilling though, so I ask him to wait downstairs. Okay, understandable, I guess. Once I come back down, I notice Ellen standing there with a bitter look on his face.
どうだった？
意識はあるけど頭痛がするみたい。頭痛薬とお水を飲ませたから1時間くらい様子を見る。
I make sure to call and let her mom know. I tell her that she's sleeping here at the moment due to her not feeling well.
ありがとうございます。でもどうしてナオミを？
この店の前でいきなり倒れたようだ。目の前で倒れられたら見捨て。
親切なことに正直。
He's so nice!
ごめんなさい。もっと。
Why was he so mean at the beginning of this game? Perhaps that's not the wisest thing to say to someone who willingly knocks out nurses and eliminates participants without a second thought. But now he's helped both me and Naomi. That's why I feel comfortable enough to speak my thoughts.
やっと話してくれるんだね。
The fact that he's here means he has business with me. I expected him to come, though I didn't think it'd be this early. I assumed it would be either Saturday or Sunday.
ああ。
What
君は何度も僕の行動を不可解だと思ったことだろう。
Look at his fucking titties.
そのあの夜の病院で華奢で無力な君が僕に立ち向かう様を見て、その瞳を見て思ったことがある。
Come on, look at it. He stands cross-armed and just pushes his titties up. How do you expect me to not mention it? But thank you for the higher time.
君の瞳は
Ha! See, I knew it. His younger sister. I felt like you were prompting me. Yeah, I was waiting for it. There's a certain gentleness to his expression as he admits this.
僕には4人の弟と1人の妹がいる。
Oh,
弟た
just
ちはま
around
だ
your age,
小
so
さい
like,
が、
what, 5
妹の
years?
年はちょうど君と同じくら
Wait,
い。
we found out that he's not of age actually. So he can't, the sister can't be that much younger.
妹の名前はアムリタ。僕と違って妹たちは両親から受け継いだ使命を名乗り続けている。
Okay. My mind flashes back to something Alan mumbled during his sleep after fighting her dad. Amrita. It's his sister's name.
ちなみに君よりも顔立ちも発育もよく
Bro!
ちょっと
だが君たちは根源的に似ている。
That's why you helped me, because I remind you of your sister?
感情的になった時の不活さも、弟たちは僕と同じように強く成長するものと確信
I
し
think
てい
he's
る。
getting burns about intelligence all the time this week. Yeah,
僕は男だ。血
truly.
のつながりというのは強い。
Everyone's
それに
so mean.
男の気持ちはよくわかる。だが心配なのはアムリタだ。あの性格では
But maybe she
仕事
doesn't
も
want
結
to
婚も
marry.
不器用にし
Ever
か
thought
で
of
きない。
that? My card book begins to shine all of a sudden. One card materializes. 12. Regrets sister's future. Having seen a gentle expression she shows from time to time, I'm not very surprised at the card's contents. If anything, it proves how well I've come to understand Ellen.
どうして私に自分の未練を教えたの？
君に生きてほしいと思ったからだ。
へえ。
だって
構わない。これが僕の結論でもある。だが君にはこれから僕の人生を背負ってもらい、僕たちの物語
We truly are just taking
終
on
止符を打って
everyone.
もらおう。
One's regret, everyone's life stories, and everything. He tells me about his past next. His mother died from illness when he was still a child, while his father was killed due to a grudge involving shady business practices. Alan soon took over his father's business connections, discarding both his name and religion in the process. Even his country's traditions soon became a nuisance to him. He built his own business from scratch and turned it into an undeniable success.
だが僕は会社を大きくする過程で多くを切り捨ててきた。物も人も。恨みを買うという性質は生を捨てたぐらいでは変わらなかった。僕の死因は毒死だ。皮肉にも致死と近しい方法で暗殺をされた。
Dying to poison must be so painful though. Like it's a very slow and agonizing death, isn't it? There's no change in his tone as he discusses how he was killed. My card book shines once again, materializing his cause of death card.
殺されただなんて。
君が想像している以上に世の中には不審死というまま処理される暗殺が多い。僕が脱落した場合もおそらく暗殺とは処理されない
Is
だ
it
ろう。
just me or does the first sentence not make sense? He mentions that he had to deduce his own cause of death after it had been undone. Nobody would know they've been poisoned until after it kicked in, I guess.
僕はずっと
It makes sense to me.
君にア
I
メリタ
don't
の姿を重ねて見ていた。
like. I know what he's trying to say, but
困っている
I
人
guess
が
the
いたら
grammar
放
fucked
っ
me
て
up.
おけないおせっかいさや流されやすさもあったな。 一方で友人のために邁進する気概も持ち合わせている。君のおばあ様がスケールに襲われた時もそうだ。
Awesome. Ooh.
君は
でも私は私、アランさんの妹じゃない。
無論分かっている。だが根本は同質だ。
There's little I can say when I don't know his sister personally. Alan presses on, unconcerned about how perplexing this whole scenario is for me. My thoughts are likely irrelevant to him. This isn't the logical side of Alan talking. These are his emotions.
僕は会社の人間を信用していない。あらかじめ僕が死んだ際には家族を次の社長に据えるように文章を残していた。
Okay.
つまり年齢的に言って僕の妹アムリタが次の社長だ。心配だったよ。アムリタは優しく脆い。人の悪意と欲望が渦巻く中でうまく。
私と同い年で社長に。
ああ、だが君を見ていたら少しだけ安心することができた。
Still though, I'm not your
自覚し
sister.
ているけれど無自覚に強い芯を持っている。人の心を動かすことができる。信用できる友を作ることができる。自分の瞳の力を疑うのであれば目の前にいる僕を証拠にすればいい。
So, we're going to eliminate Alan this week? His gaze is locked onto me as he speaks. Our eyes may be meeting, but it's not me he's looking at. He's using me as a window to see his sister.
買いかぶりすぎ。それに私はそんな責任持てない。
構わないさ。
I don't
これは
care!
僕の決断だ。もっとも利益を生み出すという意味でアムリタが僕より上を行くことはないだろう。失敗も多くするかもしれない。だが僕とは違った成長を生むはずだ。そして何より僕のように暗殺されることはないだろう。究極的に言えばアムリタが長生きしてく
I
れ
would
れば
love if that
それでいい。
sister actually also got more than just that one CG where he saw her in her dream.
無論まだまだ心配は尽きない。けれどそこに希望を見ることができた。
His expression changes once again to one I've never seen before. A genuine smile? Yeah. Wow, unbelievable. I never thought he'd have it in him to express such a brilliant smile. His every word and action in relation to his sister shows just how much he cares for her. I have no parents or siblings to speak of, but I can tell this is how those who do feel about them.
何がおかしい？
I don't realize I'm also smiling until he points it out. He's strict but kind and reliable. He always seems a bit desperate despite his intellect. Part of me is envious of Amrita for getting a brother like him. What a weird situation.
なんでもない。
Many spreads for the characters. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's already amazing how much they actually made. Would have thought that I'd ever come to think about him like this. Well, guess it's my fault. I never bothered to try and understand him after what happened at the hospital that day. Okay, but Rinke, to be fair, after what happened at the hospital, there's no fault with you not trying to understand someone who pulls off that kind of stunt any better. But he always been kind to me after that, at Shigitsugu's home, when he helped me to stop you, and even when he saved my gran. I'm at fault for never seeing him for who he really is.
私の生き方がどこまで通用するのか見届けるんじゃなかったの？
言っただろう。君の生き方が通用した結果が。
Alan pauses briefly before posing a question.
見張るヘビナタとの決着はどうするつもりだ？
His question takes me by surprise. Well, not the question itself, but the realization that he truly does understand me. There's no reason for me to hesitate, though. I only have one answer to give.
生き残る。二人で。
ああ、いい答えだ。アムリタも獅子舞凛花ならそう。
私の入れるコーヒー 美味しいんです。最後に飲んでいきませんか？
ああ、いただこ
It is supposed to be a simple offer, but my wedding may have given it more weight than intended. I doubt Ellen fails to catch it either.
ちょっとだけ待っていてくださいね。
I'm going to make this the best coffee I've ever brewed. Naomi's just chilling up there with her massive headache because her memories don't add up, I guess. No one cares about her. No words are exchanged as he drinks his coffee. It's not an awkward silence or anything, words simply aren't needed. Our relationship doesn't extend beyond our status as participants in divine selection. We're not friends, we're not lovers, we're not enemies, we're not even siblings. But that's why this works.
う。ごちそうさま。僕はコーヒーがあまり好きではないが、美味しいと思ったよ。
ありがと
Teach
う。
me how to appreciate coffee. I wish I could drink coffee. He pauses, stands, and then continues.
そろそろ君の後
Oh,
輩の様子を
thank
見に
you!
行った方
Someone
がいい。
cares about Naomi.
そのつもり。
君は何人もの人生を託されてきたのだろう。それでも強く生きたいと望むのは君にしかできないこと。
Rinka's very strong.
私は一人じゃないから。重荷じゃなくて力に変わった。
肉体において人間は常に一人だ。だからこそ一人ではないと信じられることが。
アランさんだってずっと一人じゃなかったはずでしょ、お兄ちゃん。
冗談はよしてくれ。言ったはずだ。アムリタは君よりも再起間髪で器量も良いと。
お兄ちゃん。
何より僕は君の生き方を認めるまでアムリタを信じてやれなかった。
お兄ちゃん。
その意味で僕はやはり一人だ。
I don't know, there's something kills me when she said Oni-chan, but the text just said bro, because I don't see bro in an actual sibling context ever. For me, bro is to say bro. Thank you for the posture check.
And hello, good evening. Ah, and thank you for the hydrate time. How are you doing?
君に頼みがある。
Yeah, of course it was ironic, but still. Right, bro?
はい。
僕は日本へ来るとき、僕のルーツに関わるあらゆるものを置いてきた。
Okay.
しかし刻んでくれ。君の人生の奇跡に僕を。歪んだ運命の中で君と出会えた奇跡を。
アムリタさんに会いには行かないんですか？
Just a second.
君には関係のないことだ。君は獅子舞凛花だろう。
I guess. I gave Alan an understanding nod in response. I'm certain I would have hesitated to elect him had he given me a proper answer, regardless of what it was. He's made sure to put a wall between us. I understand why, though. That's his way of making things easy on both of us. His objective accomplished, he takes his leave.
Oh, come on, buddy. Stop giving me hiccups.
My eyes remain locked on him even as he fades into the darkness outside. It's because I know. I know this is the last time I'll ever see Alan Scorpion in the real world. Not long after he leaves, Naomi comes downstairs.
ナオミ、具合は大丈夫？
心配かけてすみません。大丈夫です。
She pauses before pulling her eyes away from
聞
me.
いちゃいました。アラン・スコーピオンさんと話していたこと。お礼も言わなきゃいけないのに。もう。
大丈夫。
It's all I can think to say to her.
彼はミハル先輩がフェデリーコ・カルミナーティさんの情報を揃えていることに気がついていたんでしょうか。
Yeah, only we remain, but also this game wasn't this game was supposed to have 12 weeks, right? But this is only the 10th.
そうだね。
Huh.
きっと。
Huh.
彼が脱落したら私 私は忘れちゃうんですね。今日助けてもらったことも、やっと知った彼の優しいところも。
だから私が刻むんだ、彼のことを心に。
Yeah, because you've never forgotten a thing in your life, haven't you, Rinka? Parker said Ken and Early if only one person remains. Aha! 2 weeks just dating, I fucking wish!
そしたら必ず教えてください。私が忘れてしまっているはずのことを。
Oh, but if it's 2 people remaining...
もちろん。だって私一人じゃ背負いきれないから。
Naomi grips my hand tightly in hers. Her memories take a considerable blow since she's helping me despite not being a participant. Though that makes me question why the system that rewrites people's memories is so flawed. If Parker's the one who made it, then I want to lodge a complaint. It's far too cruel. There's more to life than the beat of one's heart. It's our experiences that make us who we are. That's why changing or making people forget those experiences is just as bad as outright killing them.
私まだ具合が悪いみたいです。だから。
Oh my god, of course, stay here. I will not send you out at what? 9 p.m., 10 p.m. out in the streets to get home.
いいよ。ただ、お母さんにはちゃんと連絡しておきなね。
She's obviously faking it. Not like it matters to me though. If anything, I don't want to spend the night alone. Oh no, my friend asked me to stay over, saying they're not feeling well, but they're obviously faking it. Oh no, whatever should I do? Well, huh? Why would your friend need a reason to stay over? Saturday, 2 days later. Yesterday passed without issue. The 4 of us started together after school and then I did my usual diary reading at night. I told Miharu about Ellen too. Looks like I'll be electing him while she'll be electing Federico. On a superficial level, things have gone far smoother than they have in weeks past. There weren't any huge incidents like with you, nor was there any need to make deals with people like Odette. Things aren't so simple deep down though. The significance of the upcoming eliminations is all the greater now that we've gotten to know and see the development. There's no point in being depressed until the time comes though. Instead, I try to brighten my mood before heading to school. Right, you have school on Saturday. Right. Upon my arrival, Mao greets me with an eerie grin.
おはようリータン。今日は何の日かわかるかな？
Saturday?
7月7日だから。
あ、
そっか。七夕だね。
正解。食堂の方に笹があるから短冊飾りに行こう。
ちょっと恥ずかしいけど、いいよ。
I wish for Rinka's turn to turn completely blonde just once, simply so I can say I knew it would happen.
別に気分だよ気分。
Hi! Blue! I saw you change your name on Twitch! Congratulations! Hey, how are you doing? Rinka's wish being able to read!
リンカが書くなら僕も書くよ。
I feel like everything I think that's going to happen in this game, I'm completely off. You're wearing just blue now. Oh, nice. Doing well, how are you? I'm fine, I'm doing fine. We had a bunch of stream hiccups earlier, but it has been going smoothly for now again, so I'm hoping it stays that way until the end.
決定。じゃ、ナオリにも
I
連
have
絡
no
しと
clue
こ
how
う。
long this game will still be. I've already had it running for 24 hours, which is way longer than I thought I'd read people say the game is. I lost my thread of what I wanted to say somewhere along those lines. There must have been a ton about the feature on TV or something. That aside, it's relieving to see Mao act like this. Well, it'd probably be a relief if she was in her post-all-nighter mode as well. I wish I could pull all-nighters as often as Mao apparently can. Once we've written and hung our wishes up, we start to make our way to class. The faculty set bamboo up in the cafeteria that's shared between our and the college's campus, just like Mao said. Streaming adds a lot more time unless it's a speedrun. That is true. That is true. A surprising number of people are participating, which leads to me taking a peek at some wishes. Most are relationship related.
いやー、
Wait,
みんな
I
何を
thought
書
you
い
were
た
not
のか
supposed to
な？
look at other people's wishes? That brings bad luck or something?
秘密にするって約束だったでしょ。
We make it a point to keep what we've written to ourselves. For a simple reason too, we're shy.
羊さん、恋ではないにしても、君は僕の短冊を見た。
Please,
もしそれを誰かに話したら、
please, Miharu, I thought you and
どうなるか分かったよね。
Naomi were finally getting along.
ごめんなさい。私お、ナオリン、ミハルンのお願い事を見ちゃったんだ。
え？
これ、マオ先輩でも無理です。
Miharu gives Naomi an exaggerated glare before transitioning into a smile. As for me, well, I guess there's no point in reminding myself of something I wrote.
もういくつか寝ると夏休みだね。
Haha!
ああ、そうだね。2桁をいくつかというには多い気もするけれど。
They start a summer vacation in July?
リータンは覚えてる？花火大会。ちょうど来月の今頃じゃなかった？
Interesting.
うん。行こうね。4人でさ。
There's a hint of gravity to her words. It's not often she sounds like that, so it leaves the rest of us speechless. Naomi bends up, breaking the silence.
行きましょう。
Finishing up, and then we go to Hawaii.
大好きです。
Miharu and I nod in agreement.
じゃ、ナオリンは朝一で場所取りだね。
No!
頑張ります。
She actually does it!
みんなで一緒にね。
リンカがそういうのなら、僕も。
My reluctance to say it in the first place is why I forced myself to make that claim. It's a much more personal wish than what I wrote earlier, but also a more earnest one. Okay, end of game, we actually go to see the fireworks, maybe? Once the day is over, I get ready for bed. As for the diary, I'm almost done with it in terms of pages. Tomorrow's sessions should be my last. I couldn't find a second volume after looking around, so tomorrow marks my last look into the daily lives of Linda and Diana. When I think about that, I recall what we talked about early on in the afternoon.
花火か。
I talked to Miharu about it before, back when we were alone at the theme park. Back when I was the only one who didn't know anything about divine selection. Oh no. Oh no. A flood of memories come back to me all at once. I must be tired. I feel my eyes begin to water up as my emotions involuntarily pour out.
行きたい。
Oh,
いいよ。
okay. My thoughts turn to screams, and then I remember that it's the middle of the night, so I end up smothering my face with a pillow. I want to laugh, but I act the exact same way when I know I'm alone at home and no one can hear me. It helps to muffle my screams. It's all so sudden. The fear of losing what I have at the moment has just hit me out of nowhere. I don't want anything up till now to be undone. I fall asleep at some point, unable to sort out my emotions. I know several other people also do this, but when I'm home alone, I talk out loud to myself way more than usual. Like when I know someone else would hear me, I try to not do it. But when I'm home alone, it's just me, and I talk to myself, everything I normally think, I say out loud. And obviously, you don't actually have to finish a thought, so you yourself know what you're thinking about, right? It's the same with when I say it aloud, which is why I like streaming so much. I can just talk a bunch of bullshit. I can just talk for hours and you guys will be forced to listen to me. Federico returns to Japan from India on Sunday morning. Wow. Good job, dude. Once in India, he visited both Alan's company and his family. According to his company, Alan was out on private business and wasn't to be divulged to anyone. As a result, he kept all contact with the company to a minimum. In exchange, the vice president was in charge of all important decisions for the time being. This led to Federico's discovery of an anti-Alan faction within said company, not to mention their connection to a certain competing company. Putting two and two together with what Miharu had told him, he was able to deduce the background behind Alan's death and materialize the card. The big issue was with learning his regrets, since no one there had any valuable information related to it. His visit to Alan's home proved to be entirely meaningless too. Look at her! She actually gets a full CG! That is not grayed out! A girl they realized what Federico was up to. Her name was Amrita. Their surnames might be different, but she was apparently Alan's sister. She showed no reservation in telling Federico to leave the moment she saw him. Federico knew that Alan had plenty of enemies. He never would have been poisoned if that weren't the case. What's more, those enemies of his would visit his home in order to uncover any potential weakness. Federico used his knowledge in an attempt to threaten her. It was to no avail, however. She did nothing but glare at him in response. Federico realized right then and there that she was a stranger to the concept of fear. She was undoubtedly aware of her brother's bad side, his merciless attitude toward others, his valuing of skill and competence above all else, and how many had lost their jobs due to both of those traits. Even then, she was wise enough to prevent his potential enemies from learning anything about him. The situation was full of contradictions, and yet she stood resolute before Federico and his threats. Federico himself likely would have resorted to a number of horrible means to force information out of her back in his mafia days, but this time he gave in. The lack of both any backing from the organization and confidence that she knew anything about his regret caused him to do so. More importantly, the look in her eyes made it clear that she wouldn't budge to normal means. I wasn't telling a full review, there's her appearance. She does look pretty, absolutely. There was something familiar about that look. Federico's inability to remember who it reminded him of bothered him. What do you mean she's just a kid? She's literally... But you make comments like that about Miharu, who is literally... Well, she's not the same age as Rinka. She's 1 year older, as we found out. But still... a child. Apart from that, the fact remained that Federico was unable to obtain Alan's regret. He gave himself a set time to return to Japan for 2 reasons. One was to prevent himself from losing his resolve, and the other was to ensure he had enough time for one last-ditch effort. The only thing left for him at this point is to find and question Alan directly. Just leave it be, Federico. The train rocks as he tries to discern Alan's location. Leave it be! Please don't start fighting now. Waking up only to remember my outburst last night feels anything but good. On the bright side, it proves just how much of a toll this whole thing is taking on me. I open my window and take a deep breath of fresh air to collect myself. Why is it night? Federico chalks up his current situation as one befitting a loser like himself. He's unable to get in touch with Alan now that Scale's gone. He's visited a number of places in the hopes of finding him, but to no avail. He wasn't even at the warehouse where he met with the dad and the other girl. In the end, he finds himself at the national park in Shinjuku, the final destination. He doesn't know why this park has such a fancy name, but he doesn't care. What he does care about is the fact that Alan's not here either. His pace may seem leisurely, but he spent a day running around on foot. Time simply won't allow him to slow down. He's running so hard that he's gotten covered in sweat despite his level of fitness. He has done all he can to triumph over Alan. It's a level of effort that he'd long forgotten. That's why he feels an odd sense of satisfaction despite having nothing to show for it. Oh bro. Why always the alcohol? His decision made, he walks off into the night of his final day. One hour later, Federico returns to an area close by. In doing so, he notices a certain cafe. Oh no. Oh no! He hasn't had any espresso during his whole trip. It won't quite match the taste of what he's used to back home, but he finds himself wanting some after so long. The lights are still on, leading him to believe the shop's still open. Thus he struts over to its entrance. No, 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 no. No! Revenge of the Federico for getting walked on through so much. No! After the day turns to night, I sit down at my usual table with the diary. I've got some coffee with me as well, but I'm being extra careful not to spill it on the book. I didn't spend the whole day studying thanks to having to take care of some chores, but hey, it's nice to finally sit down and relax. I don't get to do that often these days. At first I was reading through his diary to find information related to the van selection, but somewhere along the line I found myself simply enjoying it. I can see why Naomi loves to read so much now.
さて
After taking a sip of coffee, I open up to the page I have bookmarked. Soon after, I hear someone shouting outside the store.
なんだ、せっかく雰囲気のあるカフェかと思えば休みかよ。電気がついてるくせによ。
The door is closed, but I can hear them loud and clear. What's more, the voice sounds familiar. I close the diary and duck behind the counter to better scout out what's going on. Sitting outside is none other than Federico Caminati.
どうして
Didn't he settle things after his discussion with Miharu? I prepare myself for the worst, though something feels off. He isn't addressing me directly now that I think about it. In fact, it may be safe to assume that he's here by coincidence. Judging by what he said, he's just upset that the store is closed. There's no need to overthink things in this situation.
あれてめえ
Seems like he's noticed me. I bet he never expected me to be running a cafe, much less the fact that I'm simply trying to read a book. He stands there and stares at me, mouth agape. I decide not to say anything to shatter his silence. Shortly after, he grins from ear to ear before erupting in laughter. The way he's laughing, it's a familiar sound. No, why would he know that Rinka is working here? He was never here. He was never here. Not once. Federico can't hide his surprise at this turn of events. Inside the cafe he's about to visit stands none other than Shishima and Rinka. It's the first time they have met one-on-one in the real world. True. It can be very hard to keep track of, but Federico and Rinka never actually interacted at all. There was always a person in between. Fate must be up to something for this to happen on his last day. Her presence within the closed cafe could mean she works there, but Federico is more inclined to believe that she lives inside. That doesn't matter to him though. Instead he finds himself excited about a certain revelation.
こいつは
Rinka is staring Federico down, clearly wary of him. The look in her eyes brings someone else to mind. Amrita, Alan's sister. They both share that same resolute gaze. He had always wondered why Alan seemed so concerned with Rinka, but he figured it had nothing to do with his regret, but he was wrong. This chance discovery seals the deal for him. Alan's regret as he related to her. No. Listen, I don't want to fight for the elimination rights against Federico. Not that it actually matters. I think. But I don't want to do it. He suddenly goes Galaxy Brain, yeah. His excitement turns into a sense of joy he's never experienced before. He has won. At the last minute, he finally possesses all of Alan's cards. He has succeeded in outdoing someone he wants to be.
どうもな、ちんちくりん。
I am literally first in line to eliminate someone, so if I eliminate him, well, we will see. Federico then takes his leave without bothering to enter Lionhouse. Rinka stands there alone and puzzled over what has just happened. That is a mood. How did he take the card though? Well, if you think hard enough, you can materialize the card. And now that now he thought, aha, apparently a bit convenient. Yeah, well. It's plot. They wrote it, so it happens. Don't question it. Federico randomly decided to wander off while I was giving him a silent stare. I'm not even sure what he wanted. He looked incredibly happy for some reason though.
ちょっといろんな意味で怖かった
Link is connected and suddenly Bam's sister. I mean, he was thinking about his sister all the time. And he was upset because he couldn't remember who the sister reminded him of. And now he saw Rinka and was like, ah, they share the same gaze. And Alan was always so obsessed with Rinka. Yeah, it is a leap. It definitely is a leap. But, like, honestly, I don't mind. I'm not sure why, but there was something unsettling about the way his expression shifted from anger to surprise and then to joy. It didn't seem like he was rejoicing of obtaining my information at the very
今日
least.
はやめておこうかな
Just read it! Please read. There's going to be something on the last few pages of the diary, and you're going to be better off if you know it now. Oh, hold up. Did I read that? Perhaps it's for the best since he might try to come back. Sucks when I'm almost done with it, but oh well. After returning to my bedroom, I focus on preparing myself for tonight's election. Why won't you read? Read, Rinka! God damn it!
ごきげんよう。
ごきげんよう。
運命の皆様。
Gokigen, shut the fuck up! That's the 10th time that I had to listen to her voice. Parker addresses the court of fate as she always does. I'm well aware of the cruelty being masked by her divine tone, as well as the reality that I have the same cruelty within me.
残り4名。さて、どなたがこの女神の選定で残るのでしょうか。
あんたの入れ物になるんだったらよ、女の方がいいんじゃねえか。
私、男女差別はしませんわ。
おい、俺に酒臭そうって言ってたじゃねえか。
Well, you do.
あら、記憶にございませんわ。
こいつは。
もういいだろう。いや、構わないか。
なんだこいつ。
Don't say that. His smile is really nice. Alan and Federico have no issue engaging Parker in Sansa's conversation. That's been the case since the beginning, in fact, especially with Federico. That's right, tonight's the last night I get to see this. I don't feel sad about it, just empty. I can't say for sure how Miharu feels, but at the very least she's chosen to remain silent like me.
今夜の選定でついに2桁の大台を迎えました。それでは今宵も選定を始めましょう。運命の大時計。
Oops. His sly grin signals the beginning of the election procedure. My place as numeral 1 is one that I detest. I'm always the one forced to make the first declaration as a result.
1番様、いかがなさいますか？
私は12番を指名する。
I make sure to look Alan in the eyes as I say so. I'm using his life as a stepping stone for my own. It's a truth that no rationalization can change, thus I have to accept it. He smiles upon hearing my declaration and nods.
お次は2番様、いかがな。
僕は3番を指名する。
Things are proceeding as expected. Federico nods in response, his expression an odd mix of satisfaction and displeasure. I understand now just how incredible it is for him to remain that composed.
さて、お次は3番様でございます。
俺か？俺は。あら、てめえを指名するぜ。
あ、もう番号でお呼びなさってくださいな。
いいじゃねえか。どうせここにいる全員が全員の名前を知ってんだ。
True though, we already know all our names.
ルールに従うよ。
We've known for quite a while now.
かしこまりましたわ。
Parker nods and then turns to face Alan. He raises his voice before she can prompt him though.
僕はフェデリーコ・カルミナーティを指名しよう。
あなた様まで私がお手伝いしてからでございます。
Wait,
12番様、
wait, what?
いかがなさいますか？
安い挑発に乗っただけだ。僕は3番、君を指名しよう。
承知いたしましたわ。もう皆様ちゃんと決まりは守ってくださいませ。
How's this going to work out? Federico and I have elected Alan. Meanwhile, Miharu and Alan have elected Federico. All four of us. Jesus Christ! All four of us face duplicate elections. This isn't a situation I had anticipated. I get that Federico wants to elect Alan, even if it means causing that situation, but I honestly didn't think he had all of his cards. I'm not quite sure why Alan wants to elect Federico when Miharu's already doing so either. This entire situation has me slightly bewildered. I can't see this being a tactic to make us back off. It should be clear at this point that I won't hesitate to earn election priority.
これはどういう。
おやおや、大混戦でございますわね。それでは指名の重複について順番に処理を行いましょう。
Yeah, please do. I don't want to think, Parker.
ああ、頼むぜ。おい、ミハル。 分かってるな。俺はこの野郎にとどめを刺されるのはお断りだ。てめえと一晩相手できなかったのは残念だ。
No, why would Federico live?
せめて
What do you mean?
幕引きだけは相手してくれよ。
If we go by order and Rinka earns election right over Alan, then it's Miharu, and Miharu is going to eliminate Federico. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, done.
だか
てめえと一晩相手できなかったのは
Yes! You are so lucky I did not read that the first time around, Federico.
だから私が進行いたしますから
No one cares, Parker.
勝手にお話ししないでくださいませ
Federico ignores Parker's distress and tells Miharu that he's leaving it to her. It's orange because I scrolled back up. He's just channeling with that. What's more, Alan turns to speak to me.
同感だ。彼は品がなくてね。彼に指名されて脱落させられたとなれば、アムリタの兄として
Okay,
恥ず
so
か
both
し
of
い。
you leave it to us now? I clench my fist as I listen to his words. I finally understand his thought process. It's not a logical decision at all, but it's one I can understand.
くす男ってほんとバカとでも言ってほしいのかい？
そういう趣味はねえが。
Skipping this
悪
one,
くない
actually. Yeah.
アランさんまでそんな風に思うなんて意外です。
そうか。だが、ただの兄に戻った僕はこんなものだ。
はいちゃんと私の進行に従ってくださいませ
Shut the fuck up! Parker actually raises her voice at us. That is how unusual. There's no anger in her tone though. If anything, I think she's excited. It's an abnormal situation, one where myriad emotions are all crossing paths.
それではまずは1番様と3番様による12番様の指名についてお伺いいたします。
Hey!
ご存知の通り、ご自分のカードを1枚開けることで指名の優勢権を取得するこ
We're
とが
going
で
to
き
see
ます
elimination
が、
fights now. Fight, fight, fight.
私は自分の使命を公開する。
俺は俺の未練を公開してやる。
I close my eyes as Parker chides Federico for ignoring protocol again. My actions are essentially throwing mud in his face after he helped me. But that's okay. What I'm about to do is through my own will.
私は自分の死因も公開するよ。
かか、これじゃ肩なしだ。野郎のカードを3枚集めた時点で俺の勝ちだった。最後の答えをくれたあんたには感謝くらい。
Not that it really matters. Technically, everyone here has everyone else's cards, right?
そっか。
I finally understand his actions from last night. He must have learned about Amrita somehow. I've never met her myself, but the similarities must be authentic if even he's able to make the connection between me and her. Still, it doesn't feel right for him to thank me. I never did anything for him. He's the one who obtained the answer he was looking for on his own.
承知いたしました。それでは次は2番様と12番様による3番様の指名でご
Okay,
ざい
but
ま
what
す。
would happen? What would happen if Alan, who we are going to eliminate, earns elimination rights over Miharu? How does that work? How does that work out?
ついぞ、君と顔を合わせることはなかったな。
そうだね。でも君はリンカを助けてくれたのだろ。ならばお礼は言わなければいけないね。
よしてくれ。そんな柄ではないことを聞いているのだろう。
女神、指名の優先権は僕がもらおう。
僕はまだカードを3枚残しているが、今優先
Game
権を取っ
crashes,
て
you have
彼
to
を指名
reboot
したら
to the end.
呪われそうだ。僕を
It's not
呪う
in
のは
plot.
許容
Don't
できる
think
が、
don't think about it too hard. Just ignore that that
たまら
could
ない。
happen.
ここで引こう。勝負は持ち越しと言っておこうか。どうだい、フェデリーコ・カルミナーティ。
納得いかないぜ。ここは
Federico's voice is so low. Like, not low tone-wise, but just, you can barely hear him.
断る。
なんでだよ。
もう皆 皆様、勝手にお話ししないようにと何度申し上げればわかりますの?
Until we listen, which is going to be never. Parker holds the conversation for us. Next, she begins the process of bringing two lives to the end.
それではこれより1番様による12番様の指名と2番様による3番様の指名を順番に執り行いますわ。
The Court of Fate rumbles following an exclamation. I'm up first. My platform makes its way to the upper stratum, as does Alan's. Alan and I face one another upon completing our ascension. He remained silent, albeit with a peaceful expression.
今さら君と語り合うこともあるまい。
Well,
あの夜。
はい。
his current silence compared to the night he's referring to says it all. That silence is soon disturbed by Parker.
おやおや、もうお話はよろしいのですか？一番様はもっと惜しまれるかと思っていました
Leave
のに。
me the fuck alone!
意外でしょ？みんな結構意外な一面を持ってるんだよ。
ああ。
あらあら。けれども、よどみなく進むことは私にとっては良いことでもありますわ。それでは指名を始めていただきましょう。
I opened up my card book once she shuts her mouth. My cards float out in response, despite the majority of them being useless now.
使命アラン・スコーピ
He's right! She doesn't want us to talk, but then she goes, wow, you're not saying anything? What do you want? Stupid goddess.
宝石商として君の所得では一生買えないようなダイヤでもあればよかった。
Fuck is wrong with you, Alan?
ン。ここで嫌味？
代わりに魔法の言葉を教えよう。僕は僕の亡き後アムリタが社長を務めていると信じている。いつか宝石が必要になる時が君にも来るだろう。その時に格安で買える魔法の言葉さ。
He chuckles to himself before continuing.
アムは13歳の8月までおねしょをしていた。これをアムリタに伝えれば君はどんな宝石も手に入
Why
れる
would
こと
you
ができる。
spend your last few seconds alive telling me this?
何それ？
I can't help but crack a smile. He cares for his sister far more than I imagined, an overprotective big brother through and through. To be honest, I'm a bit jealous.
こう爽やかならば指名される側も悪い気分ではない。
Imagine you go up to some
最後
CEO,
の言葉を
try to
告げてくれ。
purchase jewelry for, or like, yeah, jewelry. And then you go, hey, can I get a better price? I know you wet your bed until you were 13. Excuse me? That's not going to work.
未練。妹の将来。
My cards begin to shine in response, floating to the middle of the Court of Fate. Can I speak to a manager? Yeah, I want to hack the bench is a bad one. Once there, the light engulfs the entire space. It's then that I hear his last words.
しかし君たちに宝石は不要だったか。その瞳に何よりも輝かしい光を持っていた。
Wow! Okay, damn. Imagine a normal compliment. The scenery switches to that of a hotel room. Alan was going through documents, not just paper documents, but files stored on his laptop and tablet as well. Room service arrived shortly thereafter. It was coffee. Alan didn't normally partake, but his secretary recommended it if he needed a way to keep himself awake. They claimed the coffee here was especially good. He took a sip. Full body paralysis followed mere moments later. Only then did he notice just how many people had to have worked together through their shared hatred of him. His time was short, however. He lacked the means to judge them for their decision. Only the outcome mattered, and how it was a fitting end for someone who had thrown so much away. But in his heart remained one regret. He hadn't seen his dear sister in half a year. A child could grow like a weed in that little time. If only he could have seen that growth, her baby steps toward adulthood. Adulthood, Jesus Christ. Fancy last words, yeah. My consciousness returns in what I guess was 5 minutes. I wasn't surprised by what I saw. It all made sense based on what Ellen had told me. One question lingers in my mind though. Why did no one see how kind he was?
これはさ、あなたにも見えてるの？
残念ながら記憶は私の担当外ですから。
I see.
どういうこと？
Excuse me.
それでは12番様の持っていたカードをあなたにお教えいたします。どのカードを取得するかお選びくださいませ。
ちょっと待ってよ。
My attempt to stop her is in vain as she has already disappeared. Following that, my platform begins its ascent. Rinka's platform returns to the lower stratum not long after she leaves. Miharu looks her in the eye and nods. Words are needed between them now. Her own platform begins its rides after this. Federico's follows suit. Do we see their interaction as well? Yes, we do. They face one another once in the upper stratum. It's the first time they've done so since their last encounter in the real world. Federico is the one to break the silence.
なあ、最後にあんたに聞いておきたいことがあるんだ。
なんだい？
あんたさ、絵図なのか？あのチンチクリンが好きなんだ。
Okay, okay, I'm good. Ah. What is wrong with these people? This is not the question Miharu had anticipated. While she may have gotten angry under normal circumstances, being asked in such a blunt manner renders her completely speechless.
まあ、どうでもいいか。
君は別れ際に自分の顔に泥を塗るのが趣味なのかい？
恥じることはないだろう。一つ。同性愛ってのは。
What is up with you?
でおかしいとも思わない。
Help me. Dear God, fucking help me. Federico.
むしろそれならそうと別の遊び方を教えてやれたのに。
I'm sorry, I need a minute. Listen, I expected him to talk about a lot of things before he eventually goes, but I can't fucking take this. Miharu responds to his joke with an icy stare. There's no animosity behind it, however, just a silly way of responding to a silly joke.
話はそれで終わりかい？
Hello, yes, my last words are why are you gay? At least let me help.
もう少しだけならばお話ししても構いませんよ。
I'm so sorry.
いや、いいぜ。もう話すことないだろ。
Finally, the horny broker.
そうだね。
Okay, okay, I'm good. Oh God, oh Jesus. I have tears in my eyes. Neither of them is surprised by Parker's sudden appearance. While somewhat displeased, she continues with the
そ
procedure.
れでは2番様カードをお選びください
Pause
な。
to check. Okay. Ah. Oh. Hmm. That was my other arm making a crack noise for once. Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep that high time for a little. Miharu opens her card book when prompted.
氏名フェデリーコ・カルミナーティ。
そうだ。
Alright. But listen, isn't his voice like... It's not just me who can barely hear him, right?
あのゴリラ女。あいつはそれなりに大変な人生を歩みながらも楽しむことを忘れてなかった。
He gets drowned out by the music for some reason.
何が言いたいかってそうだな。
Of course.
いや俺みたいなやつが生きてたって。
He remembers for how we lived, right?
楽しむか楽しまないか。
Tiny voice box for long mean. Yeah, I cannot hear him.
死因足
前回の選定で女神は運命を変えることができる。もしあんたやチンチクリンの選定に勝利した
We're the same age, but thank you for... What?
あんたはもっと欲望に忠実になった方がいい。
I don't know what he's trying to say.
もともと十分すぎるほど綺麗なんだからよ。
ミレン勝利
Huh? She bites her lip as she reads out his final card. She has no idea what emotion she's feeling right now.
あんたの恋に勝利が待ってることをどっかで言っておいてやるよ。
Hello, Federico. Is that what his regret changed to? Success? During the game? The card of fate is once again engulfed by the light from Miharu's cards. Oh, excuse me. This is what I get. You want my interpretation? Absolutely. Speaking honey says that Miharu needs to enjoy life a bit more. The scenery of a sinking ship unfolds. The ship's captain leapt toward him. Her body collided with his immediately after. The ship's components collapsed at the same time, crushing him underneath them. His resentment toward both his failure and something else accompanied his death.
余計なお世話だ君に祈られるのは
No, success in general, because he thought he was a loser in life, I guess.
嘘をつくのはいけませんわよ。ミハル様。
Shut the fuck up.
やめてくれ僕をそう呼んでいいのは僕が君の器だった頃の話だろ
Tell her.
くすそうでしたかしら
Should be more selfish and open above. Yeah. No, I can definitely see what you mean. I agree.
待ってくれ今まで君は僕を通じてこの世界を見てきた
Are you sure about
だ
that?
が君は僕の体を通すことでしか世界を見ることができない君は今日までどうやって現実世界を俯瞰してきた
Do you really think Parker cannot interact with the human world at all?
下ではお友達がお
I
待
do
ち
not
ですわよ
trust this thing with anything she's saying. Miharu's platform begins to move after Parker ignores her question. It helps her to realize something though. She's getting ever closer to an answer. Miharu returns from the upper stratum alone. Her platform settles next to mine once more. And thus only us and Parker remain in the court of fate. The seemingly endless space somehow feels even bigger now.
さあご苦労様でしたわ取得するカードは
Are there even any
もう
cards
決まり
left
にな
that
り
make
ました
any
か
sense for us to take?
って言ってもねなら私は6番使命にしようかな
It belongs to the woman Ellen eliminated on the first night. I never met her, but learning her name should allow me to remember her.
凛花に倣って僕は7番使命をもらおう
She must have understood what I was going for. That name belonged to the man who got eliminated on the second night. Ah! The Chinese businessman! I already forgot about him. I'll ask about it later. That way I finally know the names of all 12 participants. I'll be able to remember every last one of them.
おやおやどうやらもうお二人のカードは不要なようですわね
どうだかさあ早く選定の終わりを告げてくれ少しでもゆっくり眠りたい
はい はいわかりましたわ
Parker gives an apathetic response before returning to the center of the Court of Fate.
それでは今宵の脱落者は2名これをもって選定を終了といたしましょう
Right in time for stream. I might not like her, but I can't deny how pleasant her voice sounds. Are you kidding me? How does her voice sound pleasant? My M&Ms! Your M&Ms! Divine selection. It won't be long before this cruel ritual is finally over. Achievement unlocked, 10th week! Wahoo! Morning. I'm stricken with a sense of loss upon waking up. My alarm rings after I spent some time staring at the ceiling. I've managed to wake up before it went off somehow. I check my phone only to notice a message from Miharu. It's about the card she obtained last night.
ロさんって読むんだ。中国の人かな。
Yeah. He was a chubby old man if I recall. I'm not sure what sort of life he led, but I can only assume he'd gone through his fair share. True. Technically, he's the only one. No, never mind. We do know a lot about him. Our dad and Federico found out all about him. I sent her numeral 6's name as a thanks. Her name was Chan. She was probably in her mid-20s, judging from her appearance, although her desperate plea for someone to help her stood out the most. Her life must have been at its highest point for her to react in such a way. Every single person has led their own lives. Sounds obvious, but I've come to appreciate that reality much more. I get a follow-up text from Miharu as I'm thinking. Final start today. You ready? No. I spew an unintelligible sound in response. Looks like she has more to say. There's no need for us to rush since it's just us left. Let's get exams out of the way before we think about how to handle divine selection. Both Ellen and Federico were eliminated during last night's election. Miharu's right. We can take our time to think things through once we're done with exams. Curiosity gets the better of me, which leads me to do an online search of his name. His position meant that even Japanese news outlets would report on his death. It was labeled as a death under unknown circumstances at first, but now it's been chalked up to suicide.
アランさんが自殺なんてするはずないのに。
Anyone who knew him would agree. His death occurred 2 months ago now. It's too late to try and do anything about it. Not like anyone would believe me if I did. It's not like it affects my life in any way, but it still frustrates me. I didn't expect things to play out this way though. That means there's a more important issue to consider.
あ、森田さん。
Per the contents of his will, the position of CEO will be taken up by the late CEO's younger sister. Apparently there were plenty of arguments over it, but she got appointed in the end. She even changed her name to Amrita Scorpion to carry on his legacy and is working hard with the support of others. I guess people aren't thrilled with his show of nepotism, judging by the comments on the articles themselves. Doesn't matter, I'll know she forged a path ahead without giving haters the time of day. There are photos of her in the articles too. You can tell she's still young, but she certainly is gorgeous. I'm not really sure how we're similar, but I can now take pride in Ellen's claim that we are.
よし。
Time to move on with my own life. I've decided to put reading the diary on hold until I'm done with finals. Please read that fucking book, I swear to God. There's going to be something in it, isn't it? Much as I want to finish it, I'd rather not come across something important right now. It would kill my ability to focus on studying. I enjoy a nice big stretch and I get ready for school. What do you mean people aren't happy? I don't see a board of directors.
終わった
It's already Friday! Alright. Great week, guys. See you all next week. Bye bye. Well, that was a fast week. I guess they literally just won't bother to have them do anything else aside from the finals, so they obviously skipped it. That makes it easier for me though. And the gang failed their exams. No! I sure hope they don't. I sure hope they don't fail their exams. That would be horrible. Extremely murdering goddess. I sure fucking hope so. Listen, I want to see her gone. Gone. Off with her head. Gone. Delete fate. Delete fate. I don't want it. I am still not holding this girl's hand, so delete fate. Alrighty. But yeah. That means we're just in time. Just in time for my stream to end and already my it's flickering again. Please, please, just let me end stream in peace. OBS, please. I hope we will be able to finish the game on Sunday then, in one last stream, or maybe it's even longer than another 3 hours. But I would love to end it soonish. But for now, have a good night. Thank you, you too. For now, I'll find someone we can raid before I end. And then it says time to sleep, exactly. Ah! Mika's playing Katamari reroll. I say we go raid Mika. Katamari reroll was great. I love the Katamari games. But yeah, thank you so much for coming tonight. I will put on. Wait, let me do this in order. Let me do this in order. The ending song. You have the ending screen. You get the raid message. Then I put on the raid. There we go. And then I wish you all a very good night. Thank you so much for coming on. We're getting closer to the end. We shall soon see it end. I wish you all a very good night. And bye bye.